His debut, can you believe this was in the Chelmsford as a 3-year-old? He was going to run in New Zealand. He got
in that side of things, but Tom Kitten is our favourite, $2.60. Tannhauser's the one, $13 push. Raf Attack at $8.50. Gambare, $9.50. Ravello had the rest. Cap Ferrar's firm, but we're not holding really any.
Blooming, stand by, they're off and racing. And a great line out. Gambare from the extreme outside draw, settled about midfield. Raf Attack right there from Ravello. Half the field fairly well strung out. Raf Attack in front by a length and a half to Kintyre. Snowman very well positioned in third. Gambare eventually got to fourth after the wide trip early and still doing a bit of work out there. Further back to Glad You Think So on the outside of Ravello. Then came Cap Ferrar from Noisy Boy, Highborn Harry. Boy, Tom Kitten's well back. Oh, strung up in traffic, the favourite Tom Kitten. Tannhauser's up on his outside. So Tom Kitten's third last on the turn. Raf Attack in front from Kintyre, a half length between them. Then Gambare. Snowman needs a bit of room now. Followed by Glad You Think So. Cap Ferrar. Tom Kitten 10 lengths away, trying to get into the race. Raf Attack in front from Kintyre. Snowman desperately needs to come off heels. Bowman's got clear running now. It's Raf Attack a half in front to Kintyre. Then Snowman, Glad You Think So. Cap Ferrar. Tom Kitten. Will it be too late? Raf Attack still in front. Tom charging home, but Raf Attack clung on. Raf Attack beat Tom Kitten. Big one in defeat. Cap Ferrar third. Then Kintyre, Glad You Think So. Longji.
So Gay gets at least a third Gloaming Stakes. She won one a few years back with Think and Big, and she won one before that. Regan Bayliss, that was huge. Tom Kitten was so unlucky. Massive run. And how rough was it?
Kitten Clargy on the corner, that's for sure. Tom Kitten clearly should have won. He was back in the field.
Of money that's drawn towards that runner. It's no different here. Bella Nipotina, $4.80 and firm enough. IME at $5.50. Valana at $6. Quick story on Airman, went up $51 all in. Most suspected they were going a different direction. As soon as Airman said, yep, want to be in the race, $11, now $6.50. So to those remainder, I'll let you read through those because
ready now.
I'll let you read through those because
ready now. Gates are back. They're off and racing. IME's left the gates quite nicely. King of Sparta's there out wide, and rushing forward is Cold Crusher. IME and Cold Crusher will fight it out early. Valana jumped well, so did Grey Worm. Inver Park out deep. Now King of Sparta's getting back as Airman goes through the pack into a pretty good spot. Then rocketing by down on the rails from Art Cadeau. The Jetia. Jojo is a man. Well back in the field, then Bella Nipotina on a wide path. Jojo as a man got a bad check there. Inver Park got underneath it from Rustic Steel and Shelby, 66 last. 600 metres to go on the Sydney Stakes. Cold Crusher in front from IME. Airman without cover in third. Then Grey Worm on the inside of Alana. Inver Park, King of Sparta a bit deep, but a bit of cover coming around the turn. And Cold Crusher in front from IME. Airman being pushed along now on the outside. Valana looking to come off heels, doing that now. Inside the 250, IME put the head in front from Cold Crusher. Airman trying to get the pair. It's IME in front. Airman is lifting the outside. IME a half in front to Airman, who's running out of time, and IME strong to the wire. IME fended off Airman to win it. Photo third, Bella Nipotina probably just in front of Cold Crusher. Then came...
So IME over Airman and also Bella Nipotina. So J Mackett had 3 second perfect ride. It's been so handy to be on speed, hasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has. It's played really fast, this track, and they
did it. James said he was going to ride a lot nature strip prior to the race, and look, he got it perfect.
Good ground from the back in the Group 3 worth $2 million yesterday. It's IME. Me took the spot. Airman, or IME sitting running, and as mentioned, Bella doing Bella things late.
Yeah, she ran the fastest, has been told me earlier, the fastest
200 of the meeting.
200 of the whole meeting, which is incredible. And on a day when horses weren't making ground, but full credit to IME. James McDonald, a great aggressive. He drew.
The Everest.
Giga kick down the outside, wins the Everest.
New
$20 million up for grabs. It's going to be some race.
So $38 million in total in prize money with this single race with a record $20 million. It's hard to get your head around, isn't it?
Here's the breakdown. $7 million takes your breath away.
There's a little bit more to it, though. Of course, there's
Correct.
slot holders, and then there's a lot of wheeling and dealing.
And I love that equine welfare and that jockey welfare that continue TJs. Chautauqua won 3 TJs. Nature Strip started in 4 of these and won 1 and was only placed once. This is a different pressure, isn't it?
And that level of pressure.
Here he is. Is he the best sprinter in Australia? Well, there's a lot of people think he is. Unbeaten in Sydney.
I think he is, and I just love this guy. And I think you're All-Australian captain.
Second last year, Private Eye. Probably going better this year.
Yeah, he certainly is going better this year, and love his placement through the short. So he's second up here, $1 million, Bruce.
In the same colours, Richo. A horse that doesn't know how to lose right now. He's won 8 straight.
That's right. He only cost 70,000. He's won 3.4 million, Katie. But you reckon there's going to be a big opportunity to win more today?
Look at that. So Jerry Harvey and John Singleton. Singo says, if this horse wins today, I'm going to shout the bar at Royal Randwick.
And that's where I'll be.
Here in Australia, here's In Secret. Well, she's a ripper sprinter. She's third up. She ran 4th in the shorts where, you know, I thought she sort of had every chance on that occasion, but she did attack the line.
Looked at the clock and she ran 32.7 for the last 600. She went, OK, yeah, I think she peaks today, and this has been the goal all along.
So Zach Burton there and Huey Bowman now. They're having that battle in Hong Kong right now. Everest.
And what about that setback he's had, Katie? Is that too much of a setback to win this race?
Well, we don't really know how bad it was, do we? Right this colt.
So that's Shinzo, and the horse that he beat in the Golden Slipper was Cylinder.
And the blinkers go on the first time, and in that slipper he ran huge, and I thought he ran amazing.
12 months and we get to the pointy end.
Betting for 12 months and we still don't know who's going to jump favourite. That's when you know you've got a very even race, and it certainly is that, the 2023 edition of the Tab Everest. Think about it, is $4.60 favourite at this stage. I Wish I Win, who has been favourite for probably, well, the past month or so since news in regards to Giga Kick dropped, $4.80. Private Eye at $7 has been steady enough today. Overpass, I guess, ever since we saw the barrier draw and how the track's played today, very fast. There's been support, $9.50. Hawaii, $11. And then Espiona, $16. Buenos Noches.
And we see the huge crowd here, probably close to 50,000 people. They say there wasn't a ticket left. Emma, can you hear me? How good was that?
Bruce, this is like nothing I have ever experienced on a racetrack. The most beautiful part of that rendition of Sweet Caroline. The public are singing it. The members are singing it. The slot holders.
A hot horse and will jump our favourite, I would suspect. $4.40 at the moment, $4.80 about I Wish I Win. But I just want to make the point about the world.
That's what it is in the world of racing. This Everest is a life changer. Here we go. $20 million up for grabs.
Everest. Crowd building right up and the gates open. They're off and racing. Overpass wasn't great out, but he's showing good muster. We think about it right there. Private Eye handy. Hawaii 5-0 jump well, but going backers. Alcohol free. Presses on. Alcohol free sits outside Overpass. Think about it goes to 3rd. Cylinder 4th and back to 5th. Private Eye. They're followed by Espiona. I Wish I Win buried midfield. Hawaii 5-0 deep out from Shinzo. Buenos Noches, Mazu, and In Secret settles back last of all. 600 to go. Overpass takes the lead now. A half on Alcohol Free. Cylinder Box seats 3rd inside the favourite. Think about it. Then came Private Eye on a 3-wide path. I Wish I Win back on the inside looking for room as they come around the corner now. And the leader is Overpass. Alcohol Free dropped off. Cylinder comes off the fence. Think about it. Strides up. Private Eye. Espiona trying to work into the clear. I Wish I Win's running behind them. He needs room as Think About It takes the lead narrowly. Think About It from Cylinder. Private Eye. I Wish I Win. Think About It in front from I Wish I Win. Think About It. Think About It won the Everest. Beat I Wish I Win. Private Eye 3rd. In In Secret rattling home, then Cylinder from Espiona. Further back to Hawaii 5-0. Shinzo, What Is Notches. Then Mazu overpass Weekend Out together with Alcohol Free. Think about it. He's done it.
He has. He's won 9 consecutive races. He's only been beaten once. He's the most remarkable story. When Sam Clipperton first rode him at the start of the year, he was a lowly benchmark horse. He's had him 9 times now, this jockey, for 9 consecutive wins. Joe Pride gets first and third. Private Eye gets third after a second. Gets some momentum. You can see Luke driving him. But think about it, he's just a winner. He continues to defy the odds. He's a son of So You Think. He's a Stradbroke winner, just like Alligator Blood's a Stradbroke winner, and today absolutely 1 for 1. And have a look at the big betting that's obviously come on. Think about it late today. So that's extraordinary, the odds that he's paying around Australia, less than we expected. Without a fight. Richo won for the ages. 3 magnificent horses, 1, 2 and 3, but this bloke is a winning machine.
Joe Pride, and he just dashed off very quickly because he was desperate. Congratulations. What an unbelievable buzz.
That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. They both ran terrific, which I was pretty confident coming into the race that not only would my 2 run well, that Moody was Peters was the only danger. So it doesn't really matter in the end, but I thought they were the 3, and sure enough, they fought it out.
He's a remarkable horse, this guy. We spoke about him during Queensland. We spoke about him during Queensland, thinking if you train him for a Cox Plate, I'm not unconvinced that he couldn't be there.
He's it's going to be a really interesting journey with him where we go from here. So I'm a bit lost for words, but it's an incredible performance to stay at 12, because after he won the Stradbroke, if it wasn't for the Everest being what it is, I never would have aimed him at this race, at a 1,200 metre race, sorry, that is. So
I don't know. I'm blown away. Had such a nice run in the race and travelled so well. I'm like, this stuff doesn't happen. It just went too perfect. I guess that's what very good horses do. Maybe even champions. They eliminate the opposition. One easy.
Incredible performance from Joe Pride to have first and third in this race. You can see in the red cap there, that's Think About It. To the outside, just getting past Alcohol Free and setting sail for victory. Off his back is Private Eye. Placed in the race last year, returns to run third, and splitting him is I Wish I Win. As mentioned, gate 1 was always going to be perhaps the question mark. Luke Nolan getting him into some clear air late, and he was able to then get to within half a length, maybe even a little bit shorter was the margin in the end on Think About It, who Joe Pride has done such an incredible job with across the course of the year. To think this horse has gone from winning benchmark races in January to now winning our biggest sprint. Remarkable performance
on that yesterday. So that was a new career peak. Thanks to daily sectionals, his IVR rating was +6, which is that's some seriously elite figures. That puts him up in the realm of an Imperatriz. And there's got to be something said, Chris O'Catherine, for a horse that puts himself on the speed. He's there to be beaten. He puts himself in the right spot, and he's just a winner. He gets the job done. There were 2 phenomenal runs in the race. I Wish I Win from barrier 1. He just was always going to need the breaks. I thought Luke Nolan rode him really well, given there was not much more he could do under the circumstances. He rode him as perfectly as he could, and who knows, if he gets out early, he may well have won the race. And In Secret was just fantastic. Fastest last 800, 600, 400, second fastest last 200 of the day. If she drew a barrier, she may well have. It might have been I Wish I Win it In Secret, fighting out the finish. But horses that put themselves in the spot, it's a big advantage. Yeah, well,
big day for So You Think. He now catapults to the top of the general size table.
What a sire! What a racehorse! What a sire!
And he ran 5th in a quarter.
Life. It's incredible.
So your understanding is we'll see In Secret head back to the straight where she's been so adept?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. That would be the logical plan. She'll come back and run in the Champions.
As well, they completely turned the tap off on 1 this morning. That horse was Benedetta. Now, you can't see it there on the fluctuations, but at one point bottomed out at $2.50. So now we're talking $4.60. That was just a weight of early money, so they turned the tap out to $5. Kibble at $15, Vienna Princess 17, with New Endeavour and Co at 31 or more. But the late money definitely.
They're ready to go. Gates are back. They're off and racing, and there's a tremendous line out of the barriers. Pericles jumped well. Looks like Cote's going forward out deep, and Sacred Satano. Sacred Satano has the head in front in the early part. New Endeavour there, Cote there, Pericles there, Yellow Brick there. And now Kaboo starting to muster up on the inside. What a mad go for the front. Ruthless Dame tracks up beautifully on the rails as Pericles got a bit of a check there. Ruthless Dame stayed out of harm's way. I think Benedetta did as well. Then came Vienna Princess from Williamsburg. Coin toss well back. Ravini well back on a 3-wide pass from Straight Acer, and Rosita's last of all. 600 metres to go. Yellow Brick in front now from Sacred Satano. Cote third, followed by Kaboo fourth on the rails. Pericles peeling, New Endeavour peeling. Ruthless Dame in a bit of traffic, has found a gap trying to slice through. Yellow Brick comes up the rise, but Sacred Satano went to it quickly, and Sacred Satano hits the lead. Down the outside, Vienna Princess, Pericles. Ruthless Dame's getting a rails run. Vienna Princess moved up on the outside of Pericles. Benedetta's running on. Vienna Princess, Pericles slogging it out, and Vienna Princess or not. Vienna Princess runs away. Storming home, Straight Acer got up for second in front of Pericles. Photo for fourth between Benedetta wide out, Ruthless Dame on the back.
So the front runners capitulated there. So Karen McAvoy didn't get a fourth Everest today, but he's had a couple of winners, big winners on Everest Day. She's just continued to build. She won that stakes race at Caulfield late last year. Chris has got a humming, Katie. Richo and Pericles. So 1-2.
Group 1 weight for age race is now known as the King Charles III Stakes and comes with one of the most eye-catching trophies in Australian sports. First run in 1945, the race was a favourite of legendary trainer T.J. Smith, who incredibly...
George Main. So Racing New South Wales thought the time was right to have a King Charles III, a Queen Elizabeth Stakes in the autumn and a King Charles III Stakes. So they changed the day, they moved it a month, they brought it into this day, which has made the Everest Day even greater in so many ways. And as Katie said earlier, it's given it that Group 1. It's now the richest weight for age race in the world, over 1,600 metres, and the trophy jump above Sunline and Animo and those horses that are currently in front of him.
Gee, that's incredible, isn't it, to think that they've purchased a Queen Elizabeth winner, and of course recently the 7 Randwick Mile.
Could get the Royal Double. Richo, what about Mr. Brightside?
Just a champ, and that's why he's the captain of your All-Australian team, Bruce, and whoever he defeats goes on and runs really well in the next race. First up goes. Light infantry man can race really well. His Group 1 form in Europe makes him competitive here.
In 3 Group 1s, My Oberon scratched from the Toorak today, second in a Doncaster, just beaten by Mr. Brightside. So he's got Fangirl, a dual Group 1 winner.
Yeah, and at last preparation, she was chasing the likes of the champion Animo, so second in the Chipping Norton, the George rider to him. This preparation, she kicked it off with a victory.
Ace is the All-Australian captain, but I can't believe the amount of money I'm seeing for this horse. In terms of the hold, about 60% of the hold, but in terms of comparative money, there is 4.2 times more on Mr. Brightside than there is on Fangirl. In a race of this sort of nature, $1.95, it's been absolutely crunched. $2.90 looked a touch on the skinny side to a few of us. $1.95 now to 23, but such is the weight of money for Mr. Brightside. 26 or more the rest. What's gambling really cost?
We're ready for the running of the King Charles III. $5 million in stakes. And we're ready for... Gates are back. Racing. Fangirl missed the kick marginally there. Golden Miles jumped out well. So did Redina on the inside. My Oberon's very handy. And Mr. Brightside being sent forward. Think It Over settled right behind them in 5th, and Fangirl quickly up behind her. Then came Zayrek, Blood Infantryman about midfield. A length and a half further back to Nugget, then Buckaroo with the black cap on the inside of a Tissue. Now Kovalik is well back in the field with Hope in Your Heart, and Quetor down on the rails is back with them. So Redina holds the front for the time being. Golden Mile on the outside. He looks content to sit outside. So Redina in front of half to Golden Mile. Mr. Brightside straight to 3rd in front of My Oberon. 2 further back to Think It Over. A half the inside to Fangirl. Further back to Zayrek from Late Infantryman. Then came Nugget from Buckaroo at Tissue. Well back Quetor, Hope in Your Heart. And Kovalik are in a 3-wide positions. Last of all, it's the Epsom winner Redina at the 600 metres, a half in front to Golden Golden Mile. In third position, My Oberon, a half the outside to Mr. Brightside, given every possible hope in the run. Then came Fangirl and 2 lengths to Think It Over. Into the straight, Radina in front from Golden Mile. My Oberon moves up boldly on the outside. Now Mr. Brightside and Fangirl, here they come. Fangirl moved up. Fangirl takes the lead from Mr. Brightside. He's got a job to get there. The mare's going great guns. Fangirl, look at her go. Fangirl, a big win in the King Charles III. Beat Mr. Brightside and My Oberon. I think Nugget fourth, then Kovalika. Further back to Think It Over, Hope in Your Heart, Buckaroo, Light Infantryman, Radina Golden Mile, Whittles, they reckon, to Tissue.
Oh, what a ride, because she just missed the start. J-Mac rode her beautifully. Chris Waller gets a 9th win in what was the old George Main. He's absolutely dominated the race. Mr. Brightside had his chance in the last 200 metres. She steamed away from him at the end, and it wasn't being too good for her so many times. She gets a 3rd Group 1. Look at her accelerate here. She's absolutely charging away. And My Oberon, who was 2nd in that Doncaster behind Mr. Brightside, they basically finished the same today, don't they? But being bloused by Fangirl, close for...
Yeah, they never put any pressure on you. They just listen.
Yeah.
Great owners.
You've been really patient with this girl as well, spacing her runs. 2,000 metres around Moonee Valley. Would you be tempted? And Kovalika also might be going that way after that nice run.
Yeah, that was sort of always the plan, just to space her runs and get it to Melbourne as well. So that'll be tomorrow's decision, I guess, but she was...
Charles, of course, the rebadge George Main, $5 million, moved to Everest Day, and Fangirl, fantastic. Wing Stakes at the start of the preparation, and look at her just explode up the Randwick Mile here. We've expected we'd see this from her at Randwick 1600 throughout her career so far, and this was a peak performance yesterday. To consider that she's beaten Mr. Brightside, the calibre of his credentials as a dual Doncaster winner at the Randwick 1600, and obviously what he's done in the Melbourne Spring thus far, to beat Mr. Brightside by 2.5 lengths, a smashing performance from the
fair and square, wasn't it, Ben?
She's
Mr. Brightside has every possible.
Yeah, sure did. She's such a good dry track mare when she gets... we saw it in the Golden Eagle as well last year when she gets dry ground, that 1600. She is absolutely elite, and she's, thanks to daily sectionals, it's rated only narrowly behind the Everest. Different rate shape. They've really ripped home there again, but I think she's... she's won a Vinery. I don't know if she's as good at 2,000 Vinery. I don't know if she's as good at 2,000 metres, but she's in the conversation now for a Cox Plate. Why not? If she gets dry ground, you'd have to think about it if they don't seed in the Champions Mile.
The other one for the Wallace stable being Kovalika, who made really strong ground late. They've been adamant with the Queensland Derby winner. He was going to head down a Cox Plate path rather than a Caulfield Cup, which I think seemed for many the logic.
He has proven that it's not just all hype about him in his last 2 starts. Phenomenal run in Epsom, and he's backed it up. He was in a non-winning position in his run, outstanding again. So he wouldn't be out of place in a Cox Plate off that.
Now it's time for the Herbert Power. You win this and you're in the mighty Caulfield Cup. And it's all about one horse, Carini, coming off the terrific win. 2nd up in Australia, over 17 at Fleming's 40, would you believe it, Carini? So he's clearly the best back and expected to win the Herbert Power. But down the page, let's have a look.
And away they go. United Nations from the middle alley, probably the best to begin with. Rebel Racer, who's been dug up to contest the lead. Regal Power from the deep is coming over. Then Mount Popper. Military Mission has just been ridden with a little bit of aggression to get just about one off the fence outside of Carini there. They were and there's no change in the Herbert Power. They run towards the side of the course with just over 1,000 metres to go. Rebel Racer by a length and a half. Regal Power. Mount Popper is 3rd now. Carini next the inside. United Nations is between horses. 2 further back is Military Mission, followed by Farrago and then Deshaun Sweet Jr. and 2 lengths away to Braden Star. So with 800 metres to go, it's Rebel Racer dug up now to try and quicken. It's about 3/4 of a length in front and shown the whip from Regal Power. They were followed by Mount Popper, 3/4 of a length United Nations, and then came Carini, who just became detached off the leaders back somewhat. It's in an awkward place at the moment. It's being dragged back. Military Mission's getting going around the outside. Braden Star's the widest, and Deshaun Sweet Jr. hooked towards the middle. Regal Power took the front at the top of the straight. There's a
a few chances here. United Nations, Military Mission on the outside runs on, and then came Braden Starr, followed by Carini. Military Mission at the 200 took the front from United Nations, and then came Farrago. But Military Mission goes to the lead for the Magic Man, and Military Mission has won the Herbert Power by 3/4 of a length. United Nations. Farrago a big run third, followed by Deshaun Sweet Jr. Then came Mount Popper, Carini, Braden Starr, Rebel.
Joe Moreira, Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott combined here with Military Mission. The Newcastle Cup form once again translates to Caulfield in the spring. He won that. He was then 4th in the Metropolitan to the stablemate Just Fine,
who perhaps, again, on reflection, brought the right form lines via the Newcastle Cup, which was a form reference for last year's Caulfield Cup, and obviously the 4th placing in the Metropolitan behind Just Fine, who we saw a little bit later on in the day contest the Might and Power, Ben.
Yeah, he was given a beautiful ride. Watching the chopper, the Best Bets chopper cam, Joe Moreira ride, was able to pounce and take advantage of it. Not nommed for the Caulfield Cup.
No, Melbourne Cup, which was the pathway last year.
The Metcalf Finance Scalacci Stakes, the 54th edition, 1,100 metres since 2015. Group 2 weight for age contest named after the Grave in 13. A great duel awaits between Uncommon James and Asfoora here in the Scalacci.
Inspiration. He just had a real calmness.
Between the top two in the market, and there's been a very good rally late for Asfoora here at Caulfield. You know, she's a track and trip winner and loves this distance, loves a little bit of juice in the track, which we've had here today. So she got out the 220.
Ready, Gates Crash and racing, and Chain of Lightning towards the inside broke away really well. No speed ingratiating. Asfoora broke fast as well and led Uncommon James. So the two favourites are 1-2. 2 lengths to Home Rule, Chain of Lightning, Lombardo. 1.5 lengths to Karen Key Largo, and ingratiating is last. 800 metres to go. So it's Asfoora and Uncommon James, and they're stride for stride. 2.5 to Home Rule, Chain of Lightning. 3/4 of a length Lombardo. 1.5 lengths Curran ingratiating Key Largo as they reach the 500 metres. So Uncommon James continues to serve it up to Asfoora, and they match motors at the 400 metres. 3 lengths Chain of Lightning, Home Rule. Then came Lombardo, well back Curran ingratiating Key Largo. It's Asfoora under a bit of a grip here at the 250, and got a length in front of Uncommon James. 3 lengths Chain of Lightning, and then Lombardo. But Asfoora has dropped Uncommon James. 100 metres to go. Asfoora for Mitch Aiken. 3 or 4 lengths in front. And she's a bonny mare. Asfoora bolted in. Uncommon James second. Chain of Lightning third. Photo 4 Lombardo and Curran. Then came ingratiating. Well back in the field, Key Largo and Home Rule.
Oh, she's a beauty, Asfoora. Loves Caulfield. I think you can circle blue, but applause aplenty for Asfoora. She loves Caulfield and she wins the Scalacci.
Well, that was a terrific horse race. I love seeing Mitch Aiken staying away from the inside and then
at about the 300.
This was great racing. I really enjoyed this race. So you had the match race in the market and you had the match race on the track. So Damien Lane, blinkers on, thought, all right, I'll go up and serve it up to Asfoora and see if she's vulnerable at 1,100 metres. And I love the way Mitch Aiken wasn't bullied. He stayed off the fence. He had a plan. He wanted to get to a certain part of the track, and he wasn't overawed by the occasion at all. Got to the part of the track he wanted, and when the acid was poured on, as it was Uncommon James that popped in the home straight. And she's done another good job, Asfoora. She's just a mare that's continuing to improve. I thought it was a career peak last start behind Imperatriz, and she's gone on with it, run another really good figure to win yesterday dominantly. Henry Dwyer's doing a great job with her. He said she heads off to Henry Dwyer's doing a great job with her. He said she heads off to the Oakley Plate next.
She looks like the second coming of Pippi to me. Like, it's just get her back to Caulfield weight for an Oakley Plate.
I think she's better than Pippi, and she's more versatile than Pippi. Like, she can sit up on the...
A couple of the sharps have taken non-conformists at that price. 26 to 21 forgot you, the blowout there right down the bottom.
It's Might and Power, Group 1 weight for age, $1 million, 2,000 metre contest, the 138th edition of the race. I'm the 4th horse in the 21st century to do the Underwood Caulfield Stakes double.
Well, he's the best horse in the...
Kingston Town winner at 2000, won the Metrop. Gay Waterhouse, of course, successful with Yard, and rightly so. The sun's out and the guns are out as well. The first of the 3 Group 1s for the afternoon. The Neds, Might and Power, last year.
He's on an upward spiral and he's heading south in the market. He has been all week.
At this track and distance in the past.
For me, I thought that she's produced a terrific parade here. I genuinely think she's come back bigger and stronger this preparation. Distance range.
The market, and there's been a flip. There's been a good go for Just Fine here. Hard fit, dropping back from the 2,400 metre Metropolitan. Was a brilliant winner 2,100 metres prior. And fresh for this mile and a quarter race is starting your favourite, $3 favourite over Alligator Blood. Jewess has her supporters into $4.50, and then we...
And they're racing. Pretty good line too. Forgot You goes back to the end. Deny Knowledge to the lead from Lindemann, and Alligator Blood not far away. Just Fine at this stage is a length and a half off Alligator. They were followed by Non-Conf back in the field with Vow and Declare. Alan Kerr second last, Jewess last. So Deny Knowledge at the top of the hill at the 1,200 metres led the Might and Power field by 8 or 9 lengths. Alligator Blood is second, 2.5 to Just Fine third. Then came Lindemann, 2.5. He's a Shocker. Non-Conf is last. So Deny Knowledge swings through halfway at the 950, 8 or 9 lengths in front of Alligator Blood doing the donkey work. A length and a quarter to Just Fine. Then came Lindemann, a length and a quarter. He's a Shocker. Then Nonconformist, Vow and Declare, Forgot You, Alan Kerr, and 2.5 to Jewess. 700 metres to go. It's Deny Knowledge starting to paddle now. 5 lengths in front of Alligator Blood, make it 4. Then came Just Fine, who sooled up from Lindemann. 2 lengths to He's a Shocker, Nonconformist. Then Vow and Declare a long way back with Alan Kerr, Forgot You, and Jewess is last. Deny Knowledge with Alligator Blood now breathing down her neck, and around the corner Alligator Blood went to the front from Deny Knowledge, who's gone. Then Lindemann, Just Fine, Vow and Declare, and Jewess back on the inside. Alligator Blood, 200 metres to go. 4 lengths in front of Jewess, Vow and Declare running a race, and then Nonconformist. But it is all Alligator Blood, a 7th Group 1 coming up, and Alligator Blood wins it by 2 lengths. What a run, Vow and Declare. Jewess third, then Nonconformist. Alan Kerr, Deny Knowledge, He's a Shocker. Lindemann, Forgot You, and last was Just Fine.
Alligator Blood gives the people what they wanted. They came here to see some champs. They've seen one there, He joins Northerly, So You Think, and Ocean Park, no less, as the only 4 horses this century to win the Underwood and then triumph in the race known as the Caulfield Stakes, but now badged as the Might and Power. Deny Knowledge set it up. Tim Clark said thank you with the Gator.
Best horse wins, 7th Group 1 victory for Alligator Blood, who he was the one that had to take the field up to that very fast speed set by Deny Knowledge. A couple of sectionals in the early section. Really quick, 11.3, 11.1 BC. They were going low flying in 2,000 metres.
For me and my family.
He's such a special. He's tough. He's an elite racehorse. We're very privileged to see a horse like him.
And famous colour. Alligator Blood out to 2,000 metres for the 3rd time yesterday. He was 5th beaten 2 lengths in this race and also the Cox Plate last year. Suffice to say, again, no disrespect to the field in yesterday's Might and Power, but there certainly wasn't any Animos or I'm Thunderstrucks to deal with. Tim Clark gets it done. This horse has now got 7 Group 1s under his belt. Gay Waterhouse wins the race for the 2nd time after success with Descar. He looks every bit a Cox Plate horse on what we're seeing.
Yeah, so this was an emphatic proving of his credentials at 2,000 metres. There were plenty, myself included, which was going to light them up, and light them up she did. She's gone nearly 20 lengths faster than average to the 800 metre mark in this race. And the only horse that wasn't under complete sufferance on the turn and travelled up was Alligator Blood. He's answered his 2,000 metre credentials just emphatically there, and he's run the highest rated performance of the day thanks to daily sectionals. So he's thrown his hat in the ring as a genuine Cox Plate contender off this performance, I think, guys. And Catherine Crisso, it was...
Down her neck and around the corner. Alligator Blood went to the front from Deny Knowledge, who's gone. Then Lindemann, Just Fine, Vow and Declare, and Jewess back on the inside. Alligator Blood, 200 metres to go. 4 lengths in front of Jewess, Vow and Declare running a race, and then Nonconformist. But it is all Alligator Blood, a 7th Group 1 coming up, and Alligator Blood wins it by 2 lengths. What a run, Vow and Declare.
So you watch that and you cast your mind forward to the Valley in a couple of weeks. I just feel like we're going to look at the home turn and the Cox Plate and he's going to be somewhere prominent in the screen.
Yep, he will. He's that sort of horse. How good's Vow and Declare? What a racehorse. O'Brien stable, okay, they didn't get the result with Carini yesterday, but they're going really well this season, and he's...
Yeah, that's an absolute must for them, but it will depend on how he runs in the Moonee Valley Cup. I don't think he has to win, but if he runs well, that'll be enough incentive for them based on that run to go to the Melbourne Cup.
And it's a happy 12-month anniversary, Ben, because it was this show 12 months ago. You found Bow and Declare at $61 for the punters for the Caulfield Cup, started a third of those odds, and unfortunately no joy.
Unplaced, yeah.
What did you make of Just?
It's two. This track is swinging back, which is great news for the Caulfield Guineas, and also a two-rack if you want to make ground up on the fence. Jockeys will be brave enough to do that now as we look at the Caulfield Guineas, the feature. The top two in the market, 70% of turnover between the top two in the sports bet market. They're dominating Militarise. $2 with that $4. He's been rock solid on race day. He snuck out from his opening quote early.
Third Ned's Caulfield Guineas, 1,600 metres for the 3-year-olds at set weights. $3 million prize pool last year. It was in years. The best finisher in the Golden Rose to contest the Caulfield Guineas has won 4 of the last 5 editions of this race.
Yeah, and he only got fully clear with about 150 to go, and he launched the last 100 to win the Golden Rose. It was a stunning performance, and he looks even.
Off a 7th in the Golden Rose.
So he's got a bit of ground to make up on Militarise, and clearly
He's undefeated and won the race to remain so. That's the task ahead of Stapati, 5 for 5 in his career so far. He comes via the Mackenzie at the Valley and the Guineas Prelude.
It was a terrific win in the Guineas Prelude. There was much more merit to that performance than the raw margin there. Every time
the Guineas treading the path that Super Seth and Star Spangled Banner did to win the Guineas after winning the McNeil.
Yeah, third up he might be set to win in fast.
All his runs this preparation so far, Ken Keys looking to go one better 9 years after he had rich enough run second to shooting to win.
Fast made him the best of the day, Militarise. I just can't wait to see him over 1,600 metres. It was a stunning performance in the Golden Rose, and if he's to be beaten...
He's got the same red, Militarise, and a lot of punters will be cheering him here. He's been popular at 245. I think he deserves to be so. His Golden Rose win.
Something about this horse. I've been waiting for him to get to a mile. He looks like a miler. He's really well prepared.
He is Militarise, and he's going to start your clear-cut favourite and the most popular with Sportsbet. But saying that, Stapati has his supporters. You know he's unbeaten, folks, and we opened up at $3.40. He got out a little bit deeper than the $4 and back into $3.90 on a race day. So
Griff goes to the outside. Southport tight, set to run. Gates are back, and they're racing. Militarise missed the start, a length and a half. Little Bros back with it, and Wolfie towards the end also. Stapati jumped well. Limburg, and there's Griff from the deep, firing over. Will lead the Guineas field. It's Griff by a couple. Limburg, Stapati, V8. Followed next in the field by Rock Empire, one off the rails. King Colorado around it, a length the longest yard. Then Copacabana and Vidad, a length and a half away in the field is Southport Tycoon, Little Bros and She Light. Militarises third last from Centify, and Wolfie is last. They run off the back section. Griff is looking to control it. A half length to Limburg, 2 lengths to Party, getting a lovely run on the outside of V8. Then came King Colorado, 3 wide. Next in the field, Rock Empire, the longest yard, and Vidad, a length and a half, Copacabana. Then came Little Bros, and She Light is 3 deep. A length Southport Tycoon, followed by Militarise, and Centify is at the back of the field with Wolfie as they run by the 600 metres. So Griff looks to sool it up from here now. About 3/4 of a length in front of Limburg. A length and a half. Stapati is right there. Peels out 3 wide with every chance. Then came V8 behind them from King Colorado. Then came Vidad as they run the corner. Rock Empire, the longest yard under pressure. And then She Light. Stapati moves up on the outside, but Griff had a kick in the locker. And V8 is getting out as well. Griff kicked at the 200 metres. About a length in front of V8 and Stapati. It's still Griff by a length to V8. Griff is holding V8 for now. Griff wanders about. It's still in front though, and Griff wins a dramatic finish. Griff has won it from V8 Stapati, King Colorado. Will we hear more? Behind them, Vidad in company with Little Bros, Southport Tycoon, and Militarise, never seen. Then Centify. Next to finish, Rock Empire, the longest yard in company.
Ben Mellon pilots Griff from a wide draw to give Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace yet another trophy. They add the Caulfield Guineas to their bulging cabinet here, and for the first time in 15 years, we've got a horse doing the Stud Caulfield Guineas double. It was Hooper Got You, as mentioned, a decade and a half ago, and here Griff's been able to hold off the Victorians. V8 and Stepati had come through the Guineas Prelude form line. They fourth in the 2023 Caulfield Guineas. There was a bit going on behind. As Griff shifts out here, we get a good look at the head-on as well, and that certainly looks more significant than what the side-on shot told us. So we wait and see what unfolds from here. Provisional number.
Thrill and great to win a race for Sean Griffiths, who's very, very new to the game. This is the first year of him buying horses, and he's put a lot of faith in the stable.
You love it when someone comes into the game and gets rewards quickly, and hopefully he has a long life.
1,600 metres, and I think in all the analysis of what happened late in the race, Ben, we've overlooked the effort of Ben Melham from the outside gate from 15 here to get Griff into the spot he did in these first couple of 100 metres. It was a winning move.
It was a spectacular ride, watching the breakdown of the sectionals yesterday on racing.com. So to get across so easily, and then have a look here, he's already going along thanks to daily sectionals at quite a sedate speed. First section, 5 lengths slower than average, and even the micro splits. So we look 1,000 to the 800, 12.60, then the 800 to the 600, 11.76, 600 to the 400, 11.62, 400 to the 200, 11.58. And then the horse is a bit gassed late, 12.52, hence why he ducks out under pressure. But he has ridden that to perfection, Ben Melham, and has made it impossible for those horses like Militarise, whose third last began slowly, to get into the race. Brilliant ride. John Allen Stepati got across, one out, one back, had absolutely every opportunity. I thought he was, of the big guns, the disappointing one. And I say disappointing, I just don't think he ran a strong 1,600 metres, so we'll look for him back in trip. Militarise has gone from nearly 13 lengths slower than average to +2 in the midsection. He has been in a non-winning position. We'll speak about that a little bit more in a bit more depth after we have a look at the concluding stages.
But Griff had a kick in the locker, and V8 is getting out as well. Griff kicked at the 200 metres, about a length in front of V8 and Stepati. It's still Griff by a length to V8. Griff is holding V8 for now. Griff wanders about. It's still in front though, and Griff wins a dramatic finish. Griff has won it from V8 Stepati.
It was quite the domino effect late in the races. Griff was shifting out, as you mentioned, Ben, given he was starting to fatigue after the work that had to be done early in the race. And there was a pretty quick and succinct assessment from Tony McAvoy. He had the dialogue with Damien Lane pretty quickly. He assessed, well, the margin's a length and 3/4. We don't think there's anything in it. And they were, again, pretty transparent to not throw in what may have been a frivolous protest.
Yeah, so Matty Hill references it in the call. We'll see.
So interesting. He probably would have a pretty strong case to possibly appeal that suspension.
Tell you what we do need, Ben, and we're big fans of it. We need this shot 52 Saturdays a year.
Oh, it's outstanding. What you saw there was... So the horse... And there's a few people... I've got some robust advice for my tweet yesterday about saying Militarise is a Cox Plate chance. And off the raw numbers alone from yesterday, it was a low-rating Caulfield Guineas, and none of those horses would measure up in a Cox Plate. But what we know with a horse like Militarise, we saw in the Golden Rose and some of his previous performances, he can go to a much higher level than the performance he put down yesterday. And the way the race shape was to go from... Yeah, he's had to improve his speed 15 lengths in the mid-stages, and to still run on fast in the race, I thought it was a huge effort. It actually reminds me a lot... This is what I said in the tweet, where people were pretty keen to get stuck into me. It reminded me a bit of So You Think behind Star Spangled Banner, the horse that ran 5th out the back. Now, he is not So You Think, and there's very few horses are going to be. I'm just saying it reminded me a bit of his run in a race where, because of the race shape, everything just held their position. Nothing really made ground. I love 3-year-olds, quality 3-year-olds in the Cox Plate, and he's one that maybe if he draws a barrier, he's not... I don't think he's a So You Think or a Seamus Ward that can be fired up to lead the race, but he's one that if he draws a gate and he begins a bit better, he might be able to settle closer to the speed than what he was yesterday. And I think he was worth $9 or $10 yesterday. I'd be happy to back him in a Cox Plate if they head that way.
Take away out of the race?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe King Colorado as well, and I would be certainly leaning to Militarise over King Colorado in a Cox Plate. But if King Colorado went to a Cox Plate, could he would they think about that with him and then maybe on to a derby? So he's another one as group.
To Amelia's Jewel and Pride of Jenny. Where to next for the West Aussie star? That question is to be answered via the Toorak.
It's a fascinating contest because there's so many you can make a case for at big odds off the weights and measures and margin turnarounds, but Amelia's Jewel might just be too good for them and she might be something pretty special. That's what I think.
Clearly has to carry more weight than her rivals here, and it's a tough task for her, but she looks like she's ready to peak. Although there's a couple of roughies that could be well placed down in the weights. Attrition, Amenable and even Charterhouse. Jane?
It's a great lineup for the Toorak, and you can make a case for many of them, even from the yard, but I'm sticking with Amelia's Jewel. I've got the 3 on top.
She's a $4.60 favourite to win a Cox Plate, and she's $2.40 here favourite for the Toorak. $4.60 in a Cox Plate. That'll go if she happens to win this, and the market says she's the one to beat, Amelia's Jewel. Now, $5.50 Antino. Geez, he got out in the market with Sportsbet out to $7.50, back into $5.50. The Inevitable's been rock solid here to shock 17-3.
Ready, signal, and they're racing in the Toorak handicap. Pride of Jenny jumped away well with them. Deeper, Amenable, and also Pounding, and Ironclad up on the inside. Charterhouse not far away. Attrition's 3 and 4 deep, looking for a position. Amelia's Jewel's with him. Pinstriped and Corner Pocket midfield, and Savannah Cloud is pushing up. Pride of Jenny went to the front, 1,200 metres to go by 2 lengths. Amenable, who's nice and close. A length away, Ironclad here to shock, and Savannah Cloud firing around them. Attrition follows it. Then Charterhouse, and next in the field is Pounding. A length, Amelia's Jewel midfield. Corner Pocket, Pinstripe. Then Antino, 2 lengths. Bel Toro, See You in Heaven. The Inevitable is second last, and Banker's Choice is last. Pride of Jenny, the leader. 850 metres to go. 3/4 of a length, Savannah Cloud. 2 lengths, Amenable, who got some cover on the outside of Ironclad. A length here to shock, and then came Attrition. 2 lengths to Pounding, Charterhouse. Also in that group of horses, Amelia's Jewel looking for clear air out deeper. A length and a half, Corner Pocket, Antino, Pinstripe, See You in Heaven, Banker's Choice, Bel Toro, and the Inevitable. Pride of Jenny tried to get away before the corner. 3 lengths, Savannah Cloud, Amenable. They were followed by Attrition. Amelia's Jewel brought to the middle of the track, and then came here to shock out of the whip from Antino, and then Charterhouse. Pride of Jenny at the 200 with Amenable, and then came Attrition. Further back, Amelia's Jewel. Pride of Jenny at the 150, then Amenable, Attrition, and then came Antino on the outside. It's a big finish in the Toorak. Antino moves up to Attrition. Antino and Attrition, they hit the line. Attrition or Antino, nearly a dead heat. Attrition's kick strongly. Photo third. Banker's Choice and also Amenable. They were followed by Pinstripe, Pride of Jenny, Amelia's Jewel. I don't think she wanted to be here today. The Inevitable, Corner Pocket, then Pounding, See You in Heaven, Bel Toro. Here to shock, Savannah Cloud. Charterhouse, and at the tail of the field is Ironclad. It's a photo, and Attrition kicks and wins. Bo Mertens for Mitch Friedman. Attrition
Group 1 Ducks broken for 2 of the nice guys of racing. Mitch Friedman and Bo Mertens combined with Attrition. He did this in the fee, and he just couldn't reel in Pinstriped. It was hard to know what to make of the Underwood run. It may well have topped him off to smack the line effort to pile to the inside and get the better of Antino in a driving finish. What a win in the Toorak handicap. Bo Mertens.
What a ride from Bo. A great effort from the team. Everyone takes a massive part in it, and this is what we get up in the morning to do. And I've had, I think, 3 seconds in Group 1s before today, and it's just willing him to get over the line because we've been nutted closely a few times, but we always knew he was up to the level. It was very disappointing last start, but back to handicap, aided by a brilliant ride by a jockey that's well and truly on the rise. And
what you thought might happen today in this race?
Well, I've been drinking water all day. I've got to run a marathon tomorrow, so...
Melbourne Marathon?
Yeah. We might have to reassess. The celebrations might have to be tomorrow, but how good. It just worked out perfect. We knew we had...
First time, and well, he put the writing on the wall, Ben, with his excellent performance to come home strongly in the fee, and then, of course, went to the Underwood, where it perhaps was a day where it was difficult for horses to make ground. It just wasn't perhaps the best of attrition. Those that stuck fat were forgivable, which was a little bit of a theme of the day yesterday, were
There's Amelia's Jewel, the heavily supported favourite, on the back of attrition, so you can't suggest that she hasn't had the right run in the race. She's been on the back of the winner and had every opportunity, seemingly. So we've got to see what comes out of the run for her, because she was given a nice run in transit. Amenable close to the speeds, run really well, and keep an eye on Banker's Choice, back and wide in the yellow cap, dark blue colours. Also Antino, who were in the finish as well.
To the middle of the track, and then came Here to Shock out of the whip from Antino, and then Charterhouse, Pride of Jenny at the 200 with Amenable, and then came Attrition. Further back, Amelia's Jewel, Pride of Jenny at the 150, then Amenable, Attrition, and then came Antino on the outside. It's a big finish in the Toorak. Antino moves up to Attrition. Antino and Attrition, they hit the line. Attrition or Antino, nearly a dead heat. Attrition
On the line, because Antino did go past. We saw on the overhead there, Antino got a short half head in front of Attrition, who came back up underneath Bowie the last 50 metres and really wanted to go to the line. And the thing was, straight after the Fee and Stakes, I remember talking about it on racing.com, saying there's a Toorak horse, Attrition, and I completely dropped off him after... You know, they do say you should always forgive a horse one poor run, and there were a few examples of that yesterday. But
the other A to talk about is Amelia's Jewel. And unfortunately now the Cox Plate is not a viable option, and it remains to be seen whether it's Golden Eagle or maybe some time in the paddock.
Yeah, Ben, it was, as you mentioned, she seemed to have every possible chance. I touched base with Simon Miller this morning, and he did mention that she didn't eat up completely overnight, and that is very unusual for her. And this run was very unusual for her. She's been a superstar. She's been a winner. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Simon mentioned they'll take some bloods and just have a look over the next 2 or 3 days to see where she's at, and then make a...
He's so short. We opened up at $1.40, 135, 130. He's the popular way. Gold Bullion. He's a winning machine. He's shooting for 3 in a row. He's 1,800.
He produced last time out, he should be winning the race, and there's some,
physically, it did get a touch warm today, but he certainly didn't stand out like you want a dollar.
Popular way, multis, all ups, you name it. It's all about the one horse here. We saw Mark Zara get out of trouble from barrier 1 on.
Or Gold Bullion wanting to lift. The Neds Classic and racing immediately. Sunsets towards the outside, broke well with also Tokyo Run. To Be Frank and Riff Rocket not far away on the rail. Last of all is Apulia. Through halfway at the 1,000 metres, and there's no pressure up front where Tokyo Run, as it likes, from Sunsets, who just gets a little bit closer, about a head away now. About a length and 3/4 Gold Bullion, and then came Riff Rocket, fourth the paint at the 800. A length away, To Be Frank, Gates and Apulia would spot the speed about 5 lengths. So Tokyo Run stacks them up just in front of Sunsets, approaching the 600 metres. Gold Bullion about to ease 3 wide. Riff Rocket trying to get off the fence. Then came To Be Frank, who sools up 4 deep. Then came Gates, who's waited with, and Apulia's only 3 off the lead and starting to get going. Up to the corner, 400 to go. Sunsets up to Tokyo Run. It's going to be a sprint to the judge. This might suit Riff Rocket, who hooks to the middle of the course now. Then came Apulia, and back in the field is Gates. Sunsets at the 200 metres. Riff Rocket about 3/4 of a length away, eating into the lead. Sunsets at the 150. Riff Rocket trying hard. Sunsets just in front. Riff Rocket won't quite get there, and Sunsets has lasted from Riff Rocket. Photo third of Apulia or Gates. They were followed next in the field by Gold Bullion, in company then with, towards the inside, Tokyo Run and To Be Frank.
Well, for the 4th straight year, the Superimpose is the form reference required to find the winner of the Neds Classic. Sunsets, who was 4th in the Superimpose. John Allen back in the saddle after the placing behind Gold Bullion in the Derby trial and the Donald win.
Daniel wants to mind true to it. You got Phil Richter, they're all here, and...
To race times, he posted a tweet saying that this was one of the slowest 2,000-metre contests in the last 15 years at Caulfield, and that certainly played against the impressive Superimpose winner.
Yeah, I mean, Sunsets has turned around a 6.5 length thrashing at Flemington at its last start. No difference at the weights, and geez, it was strong.
I think this horse, Riff Rocket, is the bet of the Flemington Carnival, Victoria Derby. He's $3, Sunsets is $5. I don't think, with all due respect, Sunsets will know which way Riff Rocket goes at Flemington on a big track with a proper test. Tom Kitten runs in the Spring Champion the week prior. Miller's Rise goes Cox Plate. There you go, 3:30 on that
some
race.
sort of Michael Kent Jr. promotion. You got to 10%.
Racing too, so say the punters with Sportsbet anyway. They absolutely dominate the turnover. She just got back to an awkward spot at Moonee Valley, but she finished off strong, $5. Connor Sanna, $7.
And I think she's the leader and going to be the one they have to run down again here. 2:10 doesn't really make me want to storm in. And
Coco Sun, love the way she's progressed this campaign. She's got better every time she stepped on.
$1.80 opening quote out to even money and $2.05 now. So easing in the market is your short price favourite, and she's a hot favourite for
Signal Racing. And Kona Sanna anticipated the start and got the best of it, with also out wide Tropical Squall was given a dig, and she's going to sweep across the face of the field to lead the race from Saxon Beauty, Grinzinger Bell, improving around the outside Coco Sun, then Kona Sanna, Autumn Angel, Bond Mistress, Everlast Basilina, and last of all is Dolphin Skin. 1,000 metres to go, and the leader Tropical Squall 3/4 of a length in front now of Everlasting Kiss, who did the work 3 wide to get second. 2 for the back is Saxon Beauty, and then came Coco Sun, who got some pace, got the trail, 4th one off the rails. About 3 lengths Autumn Angel, then Grinzinger Bell, 2 lengths Kona Sanna, another U, and then came Lady Tempest, Bond Mistress, well back Wings of Song, Basilina, and last of all is Dolphin Skin. Approaching the 600 metres, it's the favourite Tropical Squall. By a length Everlasting Kiss, a length Saxon Beauty, Coco Sun under pressure, passed by Grinzinger Bell, then came Autumn Angel, who's in an awkward place at the moment, could be dragged back by a tiring filly. Kona Sanna around her. They were followed next by another U and Bond Mistress. Tropical Squall shown the whip on the point of the corner, and she dashed away 3 lengths Grinzinger Bell. Saxon Beauty is gone. Autumn Angel's got out. Kona Sanna down the outside. Tropical Squall, 200 metres to go, 2.5 Kona Sanna and Autumn Angel. Tropical Squall, 100 metres to go. Autumn Angel's picking her back. Tropical Squall grabbed by Autumn Angel. She's got her. Autumn Angel gets up to win it. A half-length Tropical Squall. Photo third Basilina or Kona Sanna, and they were followed by another U. Gap Saxon Beauty, Wings of Song and Bond Mistress, Grinzinger Bell, Coco Sun, Everlasting Kiss, and then came Dolphin.
She hadn't have got the chocolates, it would have been the best Oaks trial you're ever going to see. She gets out and she gets the cash. Autumn Angel, so often it's stud stakes that provides us with the winner of the Ethereal in 2023, and the former Anne Griff. And the former Anne Griff and the Caulfield Guineas continues to get enhanced. Tropical Squall.
impressive performance. She was too strong late for the favourite. It was hard to miss the run of Basilina storming home into 3rd position.
Ages. Billy Egan managed to squeeze her through the spot, and she was able to mow down the Flight Stakes winner in Tropical Squall.
Yeah, so they've gone 2 seconds faster than the Colts edition. Nice genuine tempo set by Tropical Squall. Very, very good ride by Billy Egan on a day where it was probably the run of the race from back was Basilina, the only horse to break a benchmark over the last section. Was very good late by Stephanos, Japanese stallion. So I think for the Oaks Big Track 2500, she's, along with the winner, are the 2 I want to take out of the race.
Yep, said exactly what I was going to say. Keep an eye on Basilina and, well, $23.10 if you anticipate they'll both get the job done. But I want to find one of his runners that he's going to declare for us anywhere across the next week, and we throw up the double that horse.
16s was taken and snapped up. So Inhibition's here. She's hard fit and she gets the run of the race from gate 2. $6.55.50 into $3.90 holding full. Curvolante, well, she was $7 into $5.50. That barrier 14's a slight worry here, folks, with your 4 cents.
Benaskari, Moesha at a price for you here in the 1,000 Guineas Prelude.
Yeah, I thought she was really unlucky at Sandown last time out, and I've got a bit of 4.
I thought this was a really tough mounting yard, but we've all landed on the same horse. I'm with the 14 Moesha. I just really like the improvement that she's made.
Iterate that the top 2 in the market were backed by the professionals, and that's Inhibitions and also Cohere Volante. And Inhibitions looking like starting.
Set, ready, dates are back and they're racing at the 1400. No Speed Apache, Song or Rose of Shalar, Stella Mafid is going back. Matawai began quickly from barrier 1 to lead. Lovely looking, and also Oz Empress the outside. Azula's right there, ridden with aggression as well. Coervalon from that outside alley zooming across and got one off the fence in 4th place. Then came Inhibitions, Ryan Lazago, Apache Song. A length away in the field, Moesha, who's 3 wide. A length and a half to Bossy Nick, and then Vivier, Rose of Shalar and Stella Mafid at the tail of the field. Oz Empress led them. 800 metres to go. It was a frantic start by a length and a quarter. quarter. In second is Lovely Lookin'. A length away Azula, then Coeur Volant. Two further back, Inhibitions outside of Matawai. Zorion is 3 wide. A length and a half, Apache Song. Moesha had a ride home 3 deep. Lazargo next, and then Bossy Nick Rose of Shalar, Vivier and Stella Mafid. They run up towards the corner with approximately 400 to go. It's Oz Empress tried to get away. A length and a half in front of Azula. Coeur Volant now 3 and 4 deep. Lovely Looking under pressure, and then came Zorion. Matawai on the inside, and then came Moesha. Coeur Volant sidled up on the outside and took the front. 200 metres to go. A length and a quarter, Zorion, Inhibitions and Moesha. Coeur Volant, a length, Zorion, Inhibitions, Vivier late. Coeur Volant, 50 metres to go. This has been a terrific ride, and Coeur Volant wins it. Second, Vivier or Zorion, then Moesha, Inhibitions from Bossy Nick. Next to Zula, from Apache Song, Rose of Shalar. Matawai next to finish, trailed in by Oz Empress, Stella Mafid, Lazargo, and
time again, 3 from 4 in her career so far. The only blot on her copybook was a defeat on debut in a pretty good 2-year-old contest back in late May at Hillside. That was over 1,000 metres. Comfortably in the 1,000 Guineas Prelude, Vivier and Zorion close out your top 3.
Take a bow on Blake Shin. If there's going to be a better ride than that at Caulfield today, we're going to be treated to something pretty special.
So what do you do? This is obviously the prelude. 1,000 guineas is the feature.
Yeah, that's right. So look at the
next race. Let's look forward. Race 5, race 6, I should say, coming up here is the sprint, and the sharp money with Sportsbet want to bet around the 6, 4 and 2. Numbers 6, 4, 2. Spacewalk, 53 kilos, clipped off his listed win first up, $2.08.
Spacewalk on top for me. I really like the turn of foot that he showed first up, and maybe this is the preparation he started.
I'm happy to be with the 4 at 1,000 metres, General Bow.
6 on top for me, Spacewalk. I thought he paraded in an exceptional order. He's had the benefit of a run under his...
Spacewalk, and he presented extremely well, dropped into $2.45. He clearly dominates the turnover here, but we do have a great spread of money. It is on. It's only a small field, but putters getting involved here. And a big...
Field is set for the McCafe sprint. 1,000 metres, gates are back and racing, and Lofty Strike stumbled there. He stumbles going back to the tail of the field. Jumping well was Indian Pacific, straight to the lead from Dual Generation. Spacewalk out wider, then General Bow and Lofty Strike. After 200 metres, it's Indian Pacific the leader. 3/4 of a length and controls it at the moment from Dual second. A length and a half Generation. General Bow fourth the fence, and then came Lofty Strike and Spacewalk to its outside. Coming up towards the corner, 600 metres to go. Indian Pacific just in front of Dual Generation. General Bow snatched up behind them. Spacewalk's the widest, and Lofty Strike pushes it out even deeper into the straight. They sprint for home at the 300. Generation up the Dual. Indian Pacific next the inside, and Spacewalk running on. Lofty Strike still last. Generation up the Dual. Here's Spacewalk the outside. Made a line of 3, 100 metres to go. Spacewalk up the Dual. Spacewalk and Dual. They're going to hit it together. Dual has kicked and beaten Spacewalk. Generation third from General Bow, Indian Pacific and Lofty Strike.
A big result here for Anthony Mithens, Rosemont Stud and the Victorian Stallion Alliance, who've been investing so much money in high quality colts, and they get a Group 2 win under the belt of the son of Schnitzel in Dual here, who's only just recently joined the Annabelle Neesham stable in a driving...
Dual now in the care of Annabelle Neesham. Anthony Mithens, one of our own, and this certainly was a really important race victory for he and the Alliance team that have poured so much money into good colts in the last couple of years. And Dual, they had the option of going to a benchmark race in Sydney, and now he's a Group 2 winner.
Yeah, congratulations to Connections and to Rosemont for having the
foresight,
the courage to run in the Group 2, and they got the result and tipped a...
The Blue Bagger supporters out there will be getting around the favourite Skew-If. I'll tell you, this has been a good go on race day. She brings the New Zealand Group 1 form. She's been a naughty girl, though. She played up in the barriers at Flemington. They've got a barrier blanket on her today.
That's exciting, Nigel. We've got 4 races to go still on the card. I'm very keen to bet into 3 of them. This is not one. This is a really tricky race for me. I think there's nothing between it. I think you need to put 7 in the quaddie if you want to stay alive. So
5 on top from the yard rope to Arataki. Had her on top last start, and I'm happy to stick with her. She looked immaculate in the yard.
Much better because we'll be holding our breath with this favourite. This is an old-fashioned plunge on Caulfield Cup Day here, folks. Into $3.10. Skew-If, wickety whack. Sportsbet punch.
Stand, signal, and away at the 1,400 metres. and got them to a good start as well. And Skuif is one of the leaders with Say Magique and also Waltz On By. Madame Pomery settles behind them. Wrote to Arataki's firing forward. Cool Die midfield, and then came Revolutionary Miss Shuffle Dancer and last Wallenby. Wrote to Arataki, 1,000 metres to go. Went to the lead by a length and a half. Say Magique and Skuif box seating. Waltz On By is next, and then came Cool Die. A length and a quarter Madame Pomery, and then came Revolutionary Miss Shuffle Dancer Wallenby. Wrote to Arataki, tried to stack them up at the 800 and succeeded from Say Magique, and now Waltz On By travelled 3 wide. Skuif fourth the inner, then came Cool Die between mares, a length and a quarter Revolutionary Miss, then Madame Pomery, second last in the race Shuffle Dancer, and Wallenby is last. So the leader is Wrote to Arataki, came up towards the corner from Say Magique a half away, Waltz On By and plenty of air. Skuif behind them needs a bit of luck, and then came Cool Die. Madame Pomery's going to hunt the fence. Revolutionary Miss to the outside from Shuffle Dancer. Wrote to Arataki, went for home at the 250, a length in front of Skuif, who persists with a run up on the inside. Wrote to Arataki, about 3/4 to Skuif, who has to breathe in, then Waltz On By and Cool Die late. Wrote to Arataki, 50 metres to go, packing too many punches and won. Wrote to Arataki has won it from Shuffle Dancer, Cool Die, Madame Pomery, then Waltz On By and Skuif. Next to finish in the race, Wallenby, Revolutionary Miss and Say Magique.
Jane Oval's on top selection from the yard. Wrote to Arataki, takes out the Tristark with Dean Yendall aboard. Matt Williams told us pre-race he'd provided his jockey with an open book in terms of how the race needed to unfold. He took it up, he led, and he's going to hold them off in a real blanket finish. It's going to be
by connections, and trainer Matty Williams has Wrote to Arataki. I thought it was a terrific ride too, in a race that lacked speed, to go and own it from on the pace. Shuffle Dancer was terrific from right back in the field for Ben Mallon. Called, I think it didn't work out. She got very keen when the pace slackened out of the race. She's run well considering, but
the rowboat in the mornings, out in the paddock in the daytime, and I thought Dean got this one right. He owned the race from the front, and once he got here and they set off him, it was game over.
Got a pretty soft lead too.
Flat finish out the back, but she didn't have a lot of luck. I think she probably should have won the race, and the purple flashing through. Shuffle Dancer was terrific. Cool Die was good, given she didn't begin well and then got keen in the mid stages. Probably better when she can roll on speed. Not sure that this is Empire Rose form. Well, maybe Madame Pomery is the one that could come out of that and be even better suited over a mile at Flemington, and she didn't have a lot of...
The Caulfield Cup. No peer, not here nor anywhere. The Caulfield Cup doesn't stop a nation. This is a celebration of one. The toughest 2,400-metre turf handicap on the global calendar. Dating back to 1879.
The big one, it isn't too far away. It's one of the 4 Grand Slam races on the Australian turf, the Caulfield Cup, and it's so unique in its makeup. Being a handy, it's a strong renewal, it's an intriguing renewal. There's been plenty of talk around Gold Trip. He's going to have to be the first horse in the metric era to win the Caulfield Cup with 58.5 kilos. Then we've had seen. For the record, I like one of the favourites without a fight. I thought the run in the Turnbull was outstanding with Mark
and caller Matty Hill. It's all about Gold Trip here, folks. He is the best backed runner on the sports bet books, although you'll see that he was $4.80 out to $5.50 and $6. We're holding twice as much as what we are on the second elect in West Wimblows and also Salcombe. So it's Gold Trip here. He won the Malcolm. He's ready to go here, fourth up, $7. Without a fight, $8. Trims up from that $9 opening quote. Valiant King. Now the Sharps wanted to get around him as the best backed runner. Joseph O'Brien knows how to win a big staying race here. This will be his first Caulfield Cup. 17 into $10 and break up safe at $11 as well. Goes deep with
on the day of the Caulfield Cup to know whether Gold Trip would come to this race. He was incredible in the Turnbull, and that has been the preeminent form line in recent years for Australian and New Zealand trained winners of the very elegant and incentivised doing the double in recent years.
I thought it was as close as good as he's gone in Australia, winning the Turnbull dominantly. He might be going even better than 12 months ago. Class top weights
glittering Queensland winter campaign that included the win in the Q22, and this is grand final day, of course. He comes here off just one spring run in the Underwood.
I thought it was a terrific run. Fastest last 200 of the race. Looks ideally suited over 2,400 metres on firm ground. And the perfect thing today is he finally draws a barrier that will maybe allow him to... I think he can improve sharply, and he's getting out to a price where I think he's...
Jamie Spencer riding for Simon and Ed Crisford has the benefit of an Australian run leading into the Caulfield Cup, and what a run it was in the Turnbull.
Huge run, terrific effort to finish as close as he did after doing so much work on a fast speed. He's been set for this race. He may come on again for
Solcombe, the third of the Waller runners, coming via a win in the Heatherly, fourth in the Underwood, third in the Turnbull. Craig Williams shooting for a third Caulfield Cup.
His preparation's been outstanding for this contest. He's built nicely and he should excel. The concern with him is he can be a little bit slow out, which he has been in his past couple of starts, but he gets down.
It's the second of the O'Brien Gallopers, 18 Valiant King, who's got form around the Melbourne Cup favourite.
He's the least experienced horse in the contest. He's a Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old who's only had 7 career starts, and his most recent run was quite plain, but you referenced the effort
early.
Japan have had success in the race in the past decade via Admiraki and Damien Lane for trainer Tatsuya Yoshioka.
Yeah, he comes through the Takarazuka Kinnan and also the Tennis Show. That is elite form, and it's basically a drop in class today for him. He's a Group 2 winner in Japan. He's got Damien Lane in the saddle. He's got
for the world's richest 2,400 metre handicap.
Everything I've seen from Without a Fight since he joined the Freedman stable has pointed towards the Caulfield Cup, and he finally draws the right barrier. So I think he's one of the BZ.
I'm with Gold Trip. He won the Turnbull in fine style. He's the Melbourne Cup winner of last spring, and he looked outstanding
in the parade. He's a horse with a lot of quality, a lot of class, and he's fronted up in really similar order to last start. He goes on top. Really like the improvement that Without a Fight has made.
Punters can't split. West Wind Blows and Gold Trip, $6 each or two as they head out onto the track for the Caulfield Cup. It's a fantastic betting race. The liability is Gold Trip, the toppy. If he wins, we lose big time at Sportsbet. But West Wind Blows has his supporters here today. Some really good bets for him coming in late. Rock solid to go.
They make a good line and they're racing, and West Wind Blows hesitated, missed the start 2 or 3. Solcombe 6 lengths last early. Bois d'Argent began well with Valiant King, Huyamal, Spirit Ridge, Right You Are from the deep. United Nations coming over with also Goldman as they blast to the post with a lap to go. Spirit Ridge the leader from United Nations. Goldman made a line of 3 on the first corner. They're a length and a half in front of Huyamal, and then came Right You Are. About a length and a half Valiant King on the fence from Bois d'Argent, 2 lengths to break up, and then West Wind Blows, who recovered on the fence midfield. A length and a quarter Emissary Without a Fight, 2.5 to Gold Trip. Then came Francesco Guardi, Montefilia, Solcombe well back, Duke de Sessa, Akita Sushi, and 2 further back to Fame at the end of the field. 1,600 metres to go. The speed's beat on early. Spirit Ridge 2 lengths Goldman. Third on the inside is Huyamal, and then came United Nations in 4th place. Next along the inside is Valiant King at the 1,400 metres, 2 lengths Right You Are. They continue the climb, and then came Bois d'Argent, 2.5 lengths to break up. West Wind Blows, a length and a quarter Emissary. Then came Without a Fight, a couple of lengths to Gold Trip, Francesco Guardi. They really string out, a length and a half Montefilia, Solcombe, 2 lengths Duke de Sessa, Akita Sushi, and Fame is last. It's 30 lengths first to last. Spirit Ridge kept them motoring towards the 1,000 metres by a length to Goldman. Huyamal third the inside, followed by United Nations, a length and a quarter Valiant King, Right You Are. 2 lengths Bois d'Argent, followed by Breakup. The Japanese runners only about 7 or 8 off the front. 2 lengths West Wind Blows, then Emissary Without a Fight. Further back is Gold Trip, who's 15 off the lead from Francesco Guardi. Then a gap Solcombe, well back in the field, Montefilia, Duke de Sessa, Akita Sushi, and Fame. Spirit Ridge at the 600 metres led the field from United Nations. Huyamal's got a split. Right You Are made a line of 4. They're a length and a half Valiant King. Breakup's coming on. So too West Wind Blows. Without a Fight's the widest. Gold Trip is tracking into it. Needs a run though. Right You Are, Huyamal into the straight from Valiant King. West Wind Blows. Break up. They were followed by Bois d'Argent. Without a Fight and Gold Trip are running on. West Wind Blows at the 200. Without a Fight runs on. Lays in on top of Gold Trip. West Wind Blows 100 to go. Without a Fight coming at it. Without a Fight. West Wind Blows. The heads in unison. Without a Fight. Without a Fight won the Caulfield Caulfield Cup, narrowly from West Wind Blows and Gold Trip. Fourth, Right You Are, or Bois d'Argent, followed then by Valiant King Solcombe. Break Up and Duke de Sessa. Behind them, Huyamal, United Nations. And then came Goldman, Montefilia. Spirit Ridge got tired. Francesco Guardia, Kita Sushi. And always towards the back was Fame, a long-last emissary.
We thought the 146th edition of the Caulfield Cup would be one for the ages. It's exceeded expectations and then some. Hugs aplenty amongst Sam Freedman, Brad Taylor and the rest of the team who have plotted the course without a fight to the day and got it spot on. They took him to the Underwood off his Queensland winter where he burst onto the Australian scene with those dominant victories in the Lord Mayors and then the Q22. For many, it was a big call not to perhaps go through a longer, more traditional route and tack Asian behind Alligator Blood. They targeted the Caulfield Cup and in the end, he has prevailed. And Mark Zahra is the story here. He's pulled the right rein. He's been part of the Gold Trip story all the way through. Would Gold Trip go to the race? We weren't winner. Mark Zahra stuck with without a fight. He committed, and as a result, he's now a two-time winner of a Caulfield Cup after success on Very Elegant back in 2020. West Wind Blows has run enormous for Jamie Spencer, Simon and Ed Crisford. What a jewel it was. And Gold Trip, second last year, runs third in 2023. Mark...
You know, I had to kick myself in the ribs. My wife probably did it for me midway through the week and said, let's just focus on the ride we've got and it's a good chance. And had a beautiful run and he did the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. He's an...
So much faith in.
Yeah, no, look, it's a special day. Got to say particular thank you to Sheikh Mohammed Obeid who made the right call to send the horse out in the first place and he left him out here. And what a call, he's pulled the right rein. The horse is brilliant on top of the ground and all the staff at home, they've done a terrific job.
Good mate Mark Zahra because they are very close, Jamie Spencer and their other good mate in Ben Mellum's run third on Gold Trip.
The first and second both outstanding rides, so either of them deserve
the first three. What about the story of the Crisfords? They had without a fight. He was given to Australian trainers. Then they bring West Wind Blows, and the horse they had such an opinion of knocks off West Wind Blows in the finish. Mark Zahra.
It was outstanding. It was a Caulfield Cup that promised so much going into it. Everyone was waxing lyrical about what a strong field it was, and it delivered big time. The pace was on, quality was to the fore in the race, and I really enjoyed it.
Out in 73, home in 73, Ben. This was the third fastest Caulfield Cup since Diatribe set the race record in 2000.
And the significant thing about that is yesterday they were not running fast times. There was good give in the track. The track was just presented beautifully, and we'll talk about that later. But it wasn't a day they were running fast times. So had the track been as fast as Diatribes, and we might have been talking track records, but they went out at a quick speed thanks to dailysectionals.com.au. 15 lengths quicker than average was the speed set up front by Spirit Ridge. So it was a genuine staying contest. I want to highlight the ride.
The field from United Nations. Huyamal's got a split. Right You Are made a line of four. They're a length and a half. Valiant King. Breakups coming on. So too West Wind Blows. Without a fight's the widest. Gold Trippers tracking into it. Needs a run though. Right You Are. Huyamal into the straight from Valiant King. West Wind Blows. Breakup. They were followed by Bois d'Argent. Without a fight and Gold Tripper running on. West Wind Blows at the 200. Without a fight runs on. Lays in on top of Gold Trip. West Wind Blows 100 to go. Without a fight coming at it. Without a fight. West Wind Blows. The heads in unison. Without a fight. Without a fight for the Caulfield Cup.
So Mark Zahra becomes a two-time Caulfield Cup winning jockey. Of course, Very Elegant in 2020 with no crowd. 25,000 here to welcome him back to scale after a terrific edition.
Pretty standard from the old man. I called him about 45 minutes after, and his first words were, "That was good," and that was probably the extent of the conversation. So really well, and we'll go straight to the Melbourne Cup now.
And his firm ground, the key to him as well. Like last year in the Melbourne Cup, I'm not sure whether it was the trip or the track conditions, but he didn't seem to relish the 2 miles. Is the firm ground in a couple of weeks' time imperative for him to be at his best?
Yeah, spot on. No, that's the most important factor for him. We don't know really about the trip, and that'll be the little query going into the race. Look, his owner Sheikh Mohammed Obeid's confidence.
Got the job done, and on the turn I thought that Gold Trip and both West Wind Blows were going better than Without a Fight, but he was just too good over the concluding stages. And how strong in a finish is Mark Zahra? He was terrific. You know, I put it on in a lot of trouble. Well, he went to Plan B, Jamie Spencer, and it was a terrific ride. He was just beaten by a better one. Ben Melham did a great job of Gold Trip. Maybe felt the weight. Maybe the Quinella was just a bit too good for him, but it was a sensational race.
A fascinating triangle revolving around Mark Zahra with our place getters. So, as we know, he rides and had committed to Without a Fight. His best mate, Jamie Spencer, is on West Wind Blows. Without a Fight, of course, being trained by the Crisfords, who previously had Without a Fight in their camp when he was in the Northern Hemisphere, and then back there,
Gold Trip.
And then back there in third, you've got Gold Trip, the horse that, of course, he's had such an incredible association with through the Melbourne Cup and the Turnbull. So it all revolved around M. Zahra in the end.
Did for most of the week. Just look at the start. So Solcombe was significantly slowly out of the gate, so he might just roll the vision. Yeah, we know he's always slowly away, but this was bad even for Solcombe. So as we see the helicopter view, which is such a good start, there he is there, and we'll just highlight, look at the ground he's giving away. And
getting worse.
Mick, you would know, missing the start's one thing, but when they go slowly, it cannot be such a disadvantage if you're a back marker anyway. But when they go 15 lengths above standard for the first section, you are playing so much catch-up to tack up to the field. And in a fast-run race, missing the start that badly is a significant disadvantage.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? So Meach and the likes made a real staying test, which is fantastic for our great race. As you said, Mike, less interference, best horses win, stamina comes to the fore. So, yeah, he just made it very hard for himself, Solcombe.
It was the right scenario.
Just where things get tight for him, Mick.
Yeah, well, Gold Trip had enough room. I just wonder, had he have had the outside run the winner had, it's almost as if Without a Fight bullied him a little bit. You know, he got on top of him and put him back inside. I wonder, had he had the outside run, full momentum, horses prefer that.
Well, Lari's Turnbull and Melbourne Cup wins.
Correct. So
well, three fantastic performances regardless.
Mark there just sort of, you know, get back in there, Ben.
But if he's going as well as what he was, 100 metres earlier or last start, he still could have got through, I think. But jump back to the inside. Valiant King ran okay for an inexperienced horse. Break up, lacked a turn of foot. Right you are. Yeah, he can drop back to something a bit weaker and run really well. Going back through the...
Question for you. If you're Mark Zahra, do you go for Without a Fight or Gold Trip in the Melbourne Cup?
We should be asking you that question, shouldn't we?
Mike?
Gold Trip.
Gold Trip?
Gold Trip, only because it generally stays the 2 miles, whereas there's got to be some question mark around Without a Fight. Without a Fight's going to get a penalty, whether that's a kilo and a half. It was a very impressive win yesterday, so it's going to be up in the weights. And any rain around on Melbourne Cup Day just brings Gold Trip right into it. So if I'm Zahra, I'm with Gold Trip.
I'm with that.
If I'm Zahra, I'm with Gold Trip.
I'm Without a Fight.
I really Cup Day, as good as that Caulfield Cup was.
So my follow-up question to yours is, can they beat Vauban?
Well, yeah, they can. I don't think he's no good thing. I am looking for different form, and he's probably top seed at the moment. But they're genuine contenders, I think. They're dropping back in distance for West Wind Blows, but Without a Fight and Gold Trip deserve to be there on Melbourne Cup Day, and they are genuine winning chances.
Well, the form through Vauban is Valiant King. That's been franked already. He ran very well yesterday, and all the smart ratings guys from Europe say Vauban's unbeatable. Of course, every year there's one of these horses, and they don't often win.
But there was a little bit of a...
James McDonald, Francesco Guardi.
He was back where all the eventual winners and place getters come from, and he made no inroads. Very disappointing.
Karen Mack, Jamie Carr, Valiant King.
He was really good. He just needs a bigger track, and we got going, and then he had to stop for a few strides, and that just interrupted his run home. But yeah, he ran really well though.
Jamie Spencer, West Wind Blows.
He did everything right. Being a step slow away probably helped him because we were going fast fractions. Yeah. Won the battle, lost the war.
Mick D, right, Greg Williams, Solcombe.
Unfortunately, that's the worst he's ever left the gates. He was really slow out. But he's back with the first 4 home over the line. They just sprinted faster than we did today.
Jai Damien Lane, break up.
Had a great run, travelled lovely. Maybe a touch close to that brutal speed. Presented well, maybe just a few sharper than him today. He'll be better for further in the bigger circuit at Flemington.
Ben Melham, Gold Trip.
Ran terrific, had a lovely run. He was just really made carry that weight with the frantic speed. It never let up, and I had the chances that 1-2 just in front of me, and 4 or 5 kilos in the end was the finish. I sort of presented into the race off the back of west wind blows. I made ground inside Zara there. He's come from behind me and beat me. So horse are going terrific from moving forward, whether they go the Cox Plate or Melbourne Cup, but especially
edition of the Cox Plate.
Well, take us behind the curtain. What have you heard about Victoria Road?
Well, I'm very close to the ownership group, and they're very buoyant about his chances. The
3-year-olds.
Yeah, what I love about the Cox Plate this year is there isn't the Winx factor of where it's you know, as a form analyst perspective, it's actually a betting race this year, and there's so many interesting.
Yeah, I like Romantic Warrior and the 3-year-old Militarize. I think that horse could potentially explode going to 2,000 being by a done deal. But great race, great betting race, and there's so many angles this year.
Runners, I think, but I'm in Alligator Blood's camp. I had a big question mark on his ability. It was a strongly run Might and Power. I think he's going better than he was 12 months ago. He'll be right on speed. So Alligator Blood for me.
Got a bit more work to do in terms of who's the top pick.
Then a bit of a jump out to $17 or better the rest, where we find Sir Lucan. There has been specking for Sir Lucan, though as much as $31 was on off into 23. Damien Oliver, his last ride in the Geelong Cup. He's had success aboard.
It's 5 Geelong Cup and they're racing. And First Immortal towards the outside broke away very well. No speed from a maid. Beginning well also Magical Lagoon with Sir Lucan, Mr. Waterville, and First Immortal's coming across. No problems. Even tempo, Magical Lagoon for Damien Oliver in his final Geelong Cup, led by a length and a quarter. First Immortal second, Sir Lucan third, a length and a half King Frankel, 3/4 of a length to Ash Run, a length Mr. Waterville, 2 further back is Virtuous Circle, then came Farrago at the 1,000 metres, a length and a half a Maiden, More Felons, 2 lengths Timor, then came the Map, and last of all is High Emotion. 800 metres to go on top of the hill, and the leader is Magical Lagoon, being rated by the great by 3/4 of a length First Immortal. A length away Sir Lucan, followed by King Frankel, niggled at. Ash Run needing a run. They were followed by Mr. Waterville, a length and a half away coming up to the turn. Farrago 3 and 4 deep from Virtuous Circle. Then came a Maid, More Felons trying to work into it. Well back Timor, the Map, and High Emotion sticks to the inside. Magical Lagoon joined by First Immortal around the corner. At the 300 metres, a length and a half Sir Lucan, Mr. Waterville to the centre of the track. First Immortal took the front at the 250 from Mr. Waterville. Then came Sir Lucan, who's trying to get through. Magical Lagoon's kicking. First Immortal just in front. Sir Lucan's got the gap. Mr. Waterville, a Maid, and More Felons. What about this for a go? A Maid in the middle's blown them out, beaten More Felons, Sir Lucan in a photo, and also Ash Run between them. Mr. Waterville was next, followed by First Immortal and Magical Lagoon, who got swamped. One of the great finishes in a Geelong Cup. A gap Virtuous Circle, King Frankel, the Map, then...
Look at them across the track in this photo. A Maid's got it, but from a string line of them, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th left to the judges, and your form guide's going to say that Magical...
10-year-old gelding has been able to win the feature event, the Geelong Cup, Jane, and a big surprise in the market.
For the feature race this evening, it is the running of the Moonee Valley Gold Cup in its new spot on the Friday night. And wowee, what a good field we have this year. And we can see Luna Flare.
Record, Athabaskan, I think it's
good parade at Flemington. Things probably didn't go to suit, but I think he can bounce back here.
But the one that really is clearing out as the market mover right through betting and continued in these last 5 minutes is number 4, Athabaskan, into $6.50 now, and very, very firm.
It's order for Geordie Charles. Racing at the 2,500 metres in a beautiful line too. Knight's Order jumped well with Fancy Man and Cleveland. Kicking up on the inside, Regal Power is going to lead the race. And also in that group of horses, Mount Popper, a length Athabaskan. Then came Shiraz Vago, led the Gold Cup field by a length and a half, and they string out here. Quickened away from Fancy Man, and they're 2 lengths to Knight's Order. A length Athabaskan, followed by Mount Popper as the leader tries to stretch them. Vow and Declare is 6-3 wide, spots the speed, about 7 or 8. Then came Cleveland and Luna Flare. Next in the field, Future History, a length and a quarter. Shiraz, So Dazzling. Our Bodygon's trying to attach itself to a back of Future History, 3 and 4 wide. Then True Marvel, and at the tail, Alan Kerr. So it's Regal Power, 650 metres to go. 3 lengths in front of Fancy Man. Knight's Order, Vow and Declare getting closer, and Future History 5 deep. Then came Athabascan, Cleveland, Mount Popper under pressure from El Bodegon. Luna Flare has bailed away on the inside, and then So Dazzling. Regal Power joined on the outside by Future History. Vow and Declare at the 300. Fancy Man boxes on. Athabascan needs a run badly into the straight. Regal Power goes for home. Future History, Vow and Declare wearing it down. Athabascan can't get out. Future History took the front. Here's Cleveland right down the outside. Cleveland over the top. Cleveland goes up, takes the lead and wins. Cleveland beat Vow and Declare, Future History, and a luckless Luna Flare in a photo for 4 with Regal Power and So Dazzling. Next to finish in the race was Alan Kerr. Athabascan, Never Saw Daylight. Shiraz, True Marvel, Fancy Man, Mount Popper.
Number in colours that are well known and famous for winning that epic race. We've got a photo for second and third.
It was a hard luck story for 1 or 2 runners in the race, no doubt. So you did need to execute a good ride, and James Mack at his best there on Cleveland, who came as a good market support as well, 18 to 650 in a very competitive race. Vow and Declare looked a great chance. Vow and Declare, I should say. But let's hear from the winning trainer, Chris Lees.
So the Valley Gold Cup, once upon a time, was run on a Thursday night under the lights when they were first installed at the Valley. Got moved back to the Friday night of the 2-day carnival, and I think this was a winning move because it was quite the sight seeing a sizable field thundering around the 2500. And here's Cleveland under James McDonald. These colours have had a very good record in this race traditionally, and Cleveland hits the line well. He had, of course, come through a Sydney preparation, that most recent placing in the ATC St Ledger. He's got 51.5 kilos in the Melbourne Cup. He'll be a good lightweight option for someone in a couple of Tuesdays' time.
He will be, yeah. So I thought Vow and Declare was terrific there as well. He worked wide without cover for the first half of the race, and he's a better horse on bigger tracks, so it was a good run from the old boy. And, of course,
we know he can get 3,200, Ben.
We do, indeed. And the old, so the old boy ran well. And Luna Flare has been retired, of course, out of it. And
she ran well in her final race.
Yeah, she did, and maybe she suffered the...
There is the yard for the Craven Plate over the 1,800 metres. Let's catch up with Ben Way, who's out in fierce Group 1 competition in this Group 3 today. The likes of Wetor and Numerian, No Compromise, and also Firebird.
Gates are back, they're off. Numerian given a real dig in the ribs off barrier 1. Jump well, Firebird. 2 further back then, Renaissance Woman second last. And at the rear of the field is a wreck. So Numerian starts the run down the side. A length and a quarter in front. 2 Skyman and No Compromise. Fireburn fourth on the outside. Then Stockman on the outside of Wetor. A length and a half Renaissance Woman. And Zarek last of all. Stockman's pulling out from a midfield position. And Numerian leads approaching the 600. From Skyman, and Stockman goes to third. No Compromise. Set a charm run fourth, the rails all the way. Then came Fireburn. Renaissance Woman moving up out wide with cover. Wetor being ridden for a bit of luck behind them. And Zarek is last of all. He really stokes up Numerian now as they race into the straight, with Skyman sticking to the task. No Compromise third, looking to come off heels. Hasn't done so as yet. Might in fact be going well enough. Renaissance Woman running on, and Zarek down the outside. Skyman moved up, one off the fence. Renaissance Woman joined it. Zarek the outside. It's Renaissance Woman and Zarek. Zarek's come from last. It's only got Renaissance Woman to beat. They hit the line. If it got the bob, Zarek, it'll win it. Photo finish, Zarek from Renaissance Woman and Skyman third. Followed them by No Compromise, Wetor.
Won a silk picture in the frame. Does he want to put his big nostril in front? And he does, I reckon, Lizzie, don't you? I think.
There's a few groans in this studio today, I can tell you, Bruce. Ben Way being one of them. But, that was our Hawks. And Grant Lobb as well, who works for Bewan Baker. And, geez, it was... Then it moved to 78 and 2013. It was run on Epsom Day in the spring. Kingston Town was one of the winners. And then it was run on the same day as the Caulfield Guineas, which I don't think was right. Montefilia was able to win one of those on that occasion. And now it's been moved to 2022. Now it's sort of a valid favourite after his unlucky run at Bruce, and he looks a valid favourite after his unlucky run in the Gloaming.
I think so, that's for sure.
In a different direction, but the good news is if you are keen on Tom Kitten, the price has stayed there. Our traders are taking this runner on. $2 out to $2.35 today, despite a wave of money going in that direction. Big gap back to the next best backed, which is Tutor Levita just from Raff Attack. And then we might skip a couple because there is things. Out of the other Waller runners, Tutor Levita has had specking, as I mentioned, and Cap Farrar a little bit on the quiet side. He has 3 in this. If you're having a bet...
That is on the last Group 1 of the year, and they're off and racing. Tom Kitten jumped nicely off barrier 1. Gambari and the 4 going forward. Kintyre, glad you think so. They're all moving forward, and Port Lockroy moves into a prominent role. Raff Attack's not a pace factor at the moment, but now he's got the bridle and going forward, and Ravello's going with him as well. So it's Gambari in front. Now Raff Attack moves up on the outside, and Bayless will go all the way to the front. Raff Attack charges to the front now. 15 Love Early, led to third, followed by Kintyre pulling now. Glad You Think So is wound up 3 wide and has to go forward. And Tom Kitten parks midfield in advance of Port Lockroy. Then came the filly Tutar Levita down on the rails from Long Jeans. A length and a half Cap Farrar and a gap back to Madatsu. And the roughie Rambalon's last of all. So it's Raff Attack. He worked the lead out by a length and a half. Glad You Think So worked to a clear second. Then Gambare and Kintyre deeper out on the outside of Ravello. 2 lengths away to Tom Kitten, travelling strongly on the rails in advance of Port Lockroy. Further back then to Long Jeans from Tutar Levita. Cap Farrar between runners. 2 off to Madatsu, and Rambalon sees them all inside the 800 metres, and Raff Attack leads the way by a length to Glad You Think So. Gambare's at a cheap run on the fence. Kintyre deeper out, followed by Ravello. Then came Tom Kitten, who's gradually improving his position on the rails. Port Lockroy's come off the bridle. Then Cap Farrar and Tutar Levita. The filly's right behind the favourite, although Hieronymus is coming well off the fence now, and Tom peeling forward as they straighten. Raff Attack with a bit of a kick. The stablemate Gambare giving chase. Tom Kitten rounding them up. So's Port Lockroy on the outside, and Tutar Levita running on. Tom Kitten got to the front. 200 metres to run, and Tom's going strongly. Look at Tom go. 2, 3, 4 in front. Cap Farrar down the outside into second. Now that's the best of Tom Kitten today. A much-deserved Group 1 victory. Tom Kitten won the Spring Champion in a cakewalk from Cap Farrar and Gambare. Then came Tutar Levita, a gap to Port Lockroy.
That's what we wanted to see today, didn't we? It was a brilliant ride. Adam Hieronymus gets his 3rd Group 1 winner. 2nd this spring, Katie, after winning, of course, the Flight Stakes. The perfect ride.
Yeah, it was such a good ride, so confident.
Lizzie, I think we've seen a serious horse now. There's been a lot of things, you know, what's gone on. That was an emphatic performance.
That's what we wanted to see from the short price favourite, and he was...
Got himself a Spring Champion Stakes and a Derby contender by the looks, with Tom Kitten sailing away to win yesterday's Spring Champion Stakes in Sydney by 4 lengths. It's the 3rd Group 1 for Adam Hieronymus. He's having a fantastic spring on his return to the saddle as well. Of course, this is the race that we saw Manzoice come out of and run 8th last year. Sharp and Smart won the race. They then ran the Quinella in the Derby, and he looks every chance to be a contender next Saturday.
Yeah, I think he's off that performance, thanks to daily sectionals. He's gone plus 3.1, highest rate of the day. He looks the one to beat the Derby.
Gentlemen.
The invitation, and we've had 2 editions of the invitation so far for the fillies and the mares, Lizzie.
We certainly have. Promised Its Success was able to win the first invitation, and Ice Bass, who then went on and won a Group 1 after that, won the...
Hardly anything separates them. Espiona's just best backed with Tab, and that said, has just held its price while the other one has firm. So a point separating them to start, now 30 cents short at Magic Time. There's a big gap back in terms of money held. Roots is currently on the 3rd line out from best backed in the race, but there's 5 times more on Espiona than her. Ruthless Dame at 14 and 23 or more the rest.
And loaded, and the light is on. Gates are back, they're racing, and Alcohol Free began nicely wide out. Banana Queen nicely into stride, and Paracel's not giving up the fence early. Then came Royal Merchant. Opal Ridge very handy in 5th. Round them Ruthless Dame. Now Espiona settles 2nd last in the run, and the roughie Dalcini's last of all. 800 to go. Banana Queen went to the front now from Alcohol Free, and Magic Time's on a 3-wide path. So the favourite will have to earn a victory today. Parasol with a cheap run on the inside of Royal Merchant, and Ruthless Dame whips up, getting cover on the back of the favourite. Then came Osbred Flirt. Opal Ridge back on the rails as they approach the home corner. 500 metres to run. Banana Queen just in front from Alcohol Free. Magic Time, then Parasol. Ruthless Dame scrubbed up on the outside of Royal Merchant. Espiona's getting right to the outside and coming home with a very good run. Alcohol Free moved up, hit the lead. Magic Time keeps coming. Espiona's lengthening on the outside with Ruthless Dame knuckling down. What a great finish here. Espiona trying to shake off Ruthless Dame. Magic Time's brave. Espiona laying in, nose in front, just won it. Espiona just won the invitation from Ruthless Dame and Magic Time. Alcohol Free kicked on. The Osbred Flirt. Royal Merchant.
What about Kerr McAvoy, Lizzie? He won the first 2 Everest. He's won the only 3 invitations. We know what a great record he's got in all that other, but he likes a quid, doesn't he?
She was brilliant, but it was a really, really good race. I have to make an honourable mention for Parasol, who got chopped out at the top of the straight when Ruthless Dame, or I should say Royal Merchant, took her run. But really, the best filly, the best credentialed filly, won in the end.
She's on for 4th, and Parasol, you were right, she had no luck. She got no breaks throughout the straight, and she has run it. So Arctic Glamour, she's a filly that has shown us plenty in her first 2 starts of this preparation. She's looking for a big win in this Group 2 today over the mile.
On Arctic Glamour, we're talking 5.5 times more than the next best backed runner in the race. And at this time of day, off the 11 to 10 back to 11, and has had a little bit of support.
Now for the running of the Group 2 over a mile, and the raging favourite drawn the fence, Arctic Glamour. Racing. She jumped out all right, Arctic Glamour, off the inside. It's hard to pick a leader. She's right in the thick of the action. Flying Trapeze going forward together with us by a length on Zondi. Ostraka without cover going up on the outside. Then came the hot favourite Arctic Glamour, 4th the Rouse. In between runners still is Snowman. From the Little Pumper, Queen of Dragons, Cry Sayor. Ducasse being nudged along from peer pressure, and Namesake sees them all. Spinning the quarter now, and Flying Trapeze at the 450. Leads by a length on Zondi. Is laying in on top of the favourite Arctic Glamour. Snowman looking to push into the clear, doing so now. It's Flying Trapeze, a length and a half clear. Arctic Glamour's off the fence. Snowman's got the revs built up. Now down the outside, Cry Sayor, Ducasse and Namesake. Snowman got to the front. Snowman from Cry Sayor and Ducasse. Snowman and Cry Sayor. Snowman, Cry Sayor lunges and got up. Cry Sayor in the last bound beat Snowman, and Ducasse 3rd. Great finish overall. Then Zondi, Queen of Dragons, Namesake. Arctic Glamour got the run, and no letdown by the fave. Then Flying Cancer.
In hindsight, when you look at his performances early on in his career, you can say
Snowman, as I mentioned, that really regally bred colt, he ran on super for 2nd, and Ducasse still a maiden in for 3rd. Namesake in for 4th.
6 runners here for the Crystal Mile. Good support for Tuvalu late. Sharp judges getting involved late, and our biggest bet coming through for Tuvalu.
These 2, it looks a race in 2 according to the market, and I think it is too, between Antino and...
Oh, but it is full of quality, and you could make a case for each and every runner that paraded.
Here for the Crystal Mile. He's into $2.50 now. Clear-cut favourite. Antino with that rock solid at $2.70. Your pick of the yard, Jane, $4.80, and a trickle of money for...
Set and away they go. Good line 2, Just Folk from barrier number 5. Disputes it early with Tuvalu, who led it. Prowess next along the inside, just keeps her body in there for the time being, and Antino's probing up. Though it's Tuvalu, the favourite, runs through halfway, a neck in front of Just Folk at the 800 metres. A length and a half to Prowess, and they were followed by Antino. Next is Banker's Choice, Mustang Valley. It's an even speed for this class at the 700. So Tuvalu just in front of Just Folk. 2 lengths, Prowess, Antino. Banker's Choice is getting going and flushed out Antino, and they were followed by Mustang Valley. They come up towards the 500 metres. It's Tuvalu just in front. Just Folk 2nd. Banker's Choice wider. They were followed by Prowess. Antino back in a pocket, and Mustang Valley to the outside. Tuvalu had a kick. 250 metres to go. A length, Just Folk, who crabs round the corner. There's a gap for Prowess if she's good enough, and then Banker's Choice. Antino runs up behind them. Tuvalu just in front of Prowess. Antino the inside, and Just Folk hanging tough. Prowess stomps up, took the front, Prowess, and Prowess just beat Antino. 3rd Tuvalu, 4th Just Folk from Banker's Choice, and Mustang Valley was last of the 6.
Mark Zahra hadn't been in the saddle on Prowess since winning the Vinery on her back in the autumn. She had an interrupted preparation. They'd have loved to have been running at 5:15 this afternoon in a Cox Plate. The Crystal Mile will do, and maybe... Cox Plate program yesterday, and we see Prowess win this race. Maybe, just maybe in 12 months' time, we'll see her in the big one. That was the original plan for Roger James and Robert Wellwood, but unfortunately, things haven't quite gone.
But there was a good, genuine pace in the race. Just Folks at second. Now, Antino one out, one back. Just gets put into a bit of a tricky spot here, and we're going to break that down shortly.
Inside and Just Folk hanging tough. Prowess stomps up, took the front. Prowess just beat Antino. Third Tuvalu, fourth Just Folk.
Roger James having won this race in 2012 with another pretty handy mare in the form of Silent Achiever. So we heard him.
Verdad, it's all about Verdad. He was as short as $1.85 this morning, out to $2.15 to win the vase here for the 3-year-olds. You know, he rolled forward and be happy.
Favourite looking to launch off good runs in the Stud and the Guineas to take out the vase and continue a splendid spring. And
on top, I think gelding this horse has been the making of him. I can't believe how relaxed he was in the mounting yard today.
$2.35. Punters taking on the favourite here on the Sportsbet books, and we've got a good go. We've got a big market mover.
Away they go. Sunsource stood there and then got a squeeze, missed it by a couple of lengths. No Speed SK. Verdad out well from Mar Ali, the filly. Coning, and from the deep, Air Assault. They're across the track, a couple of metres to go. Verdad the leader with no pressure, a length in front of Air Assault. 2 lengths Mar Ali, Coning. Then came Apulia, Sunsource. 2 lengths Bulawayo, 8 off the lead, and SK last. Off the back section, 800 to go. Verdad's getting a good run from Air Assault. 2 lengths Coning, Mar Ali. A length and a quarter away, Apulia about to get going, followed by Sunsource, Bulawayo and SK. That's the order, no change at the 600. It's Verdad a length in front of Air Assault, and Damien Lane's getting busy on the second one. Apulia moved up to third now, set alight. They were followed by Coning, passed by Sunsource, and to the outside Bulawayo. It's Verdad in front, but Apulia's coming with a searching run at the 300 metres. Verdad joined by Apulia stride for stride. Then came Air Assault, Bulawayo, Sunsource. It's Apulia up to Verdad at the 150. It's Apulia, a neck in front of Verdad, a half in front of Verdad, and pulled clear. Then Air Assault, who whacks away, but Apulia wins. Apulia first, Verdad second, Air Assault third, Bulawayo fourth. Then Sunsource, Coning, a long...
It's to fire Mark Zara. He's going to ride his old mate Gold Trip and a Cox Plate. He's got a treble thus far through the Valleys feature day. He won the...
Perhaps always a little bit of a question as to how many of these can do the 7-day backup. We think that might be the case with Tom Kitten coming out of his slashing win in the Spring Champion in Sydney yesterday. Get a feeling like Apulia is the sort of horse who can do the backup and has had a bit of an iron constitution in October, Ben. This was this horse's 3rd run for the month thus far.
Yeah, just a couple of runs at 1600. He's run well, Verdad. The winner was too good, but he wasn't disgraced by any stretch.
Sometimes there's... I haven't had a horse do the Vase Derby double since Efficient in 2006, who we know was a complete...
It's back into some form after his defeat at Caulfield. OK, it's about one horse now coming up for the Manicato. It's all about the champion mare Imperatriz, shooting for a 3rd Group 1 here at Moonee Valley. You know she won the Moir and she's a William Reid winner. 55% of turnover.
Is Imperatriz, her last 3 starts either side of a spell. Winning the William Reid over last year's winner of this race, Bella Nipotina. She's returned to break the 1,000-metre track record here at the Valley twice in the McEwen, running 56.68, 56.47 to win the Moir.
Yeah, she broke the track record, beating a star in gear kick first up, even if he had excuse.
The $2 million Group 1 now finds its home alongside the Cox Plate. We've got a small but select field and a super...
Hopefully she wins again.
At $1.40, they've got to look pretty good in the mounting yard, or you've got to not be able to find something that looks a whole lot better. Look, Imperatriz has put her best foot forward today.
Your short price favourite here. No news is good news there for punters with Imperatriz. $1.40. She's the one to beat here, folks.
To scales, and we'll receive that officially, but Buenos Noches is going to come out here. So we're ready, and away they go. And a beautiful line too in the small field. Uncommon James. Imperatriz beat them out. Not far away, I Am War on the inside, and Jigsaw is forcing the issue. A length and a half, I Am Me, and last of all, a length and a quarter away, the Inferno. Imperatriz is going to do it from the front today, and led by a half length, Jigsaw at the 800 metres. They're a length and a quarter, I Am War, Uncommon James. Then I Am Me on the outside of the Inferno, and they're not going that hard. 750 out, Imperatriz. The odds on feet favourite. Led Jigsaw by half a neck. They're a length and a half. Uncommon James, I Am War. The Inferno's trying to get off the fence. It's on the steel. And last, I Am Me. Imperatrice now skipped a length and a quarter. Jigsaw immediately under pressure. Coming up to the turn at the 350. Uncommon James hooked to the outside from I Am War, who's almost going backwards, passed by the Inferno and I Am Me, but Imperatrice glides around the corner. 3 lengths in front of Uncommon James. Then I Am Me up the middle, but Imperatrice called upon. Still 3 lengths in front, and the Tangerine Tsunami's going to do it again. Imperatrice won it well. Second, I Am Me, Uncommon James or the Inferno for third. A gap to I Am War and Jigsaw.
All hail the Queen of the Valley in the spring of 2023. They've had a plan. Tiakau, he's done the seat warming in between, but Opie is here, and Imperatrice once again is a Group 1 winner at the Valley. The William Reid in the autumn, the Manikato in the spring. I Am Me, the best.
She just does it for me, really, and she's just something special.
She is something.
The Manikato, that of course off the back of having lowered the Valley 1,000-metre track record on 2 occasions this spring in the McEwen and the Moir. What a machine.
What a horse. Maybe start time. She's Australia's best sprinter, I think, at the moment. And thanks to the daily sectionals, she's run another thumping time. She was the highest rated performance on the day. And I think she's probably at the moment the best sprinter in the country.
A length and a quarter. Jigsaw immediately under pressure. Coming up to the turn at the 350. Uncommon James hooked to the outside from I Am War, who's almost going backwards, passed by the Inferno and I Am Me, but Imperatrice glides around the corner. 3 lengths in front of Uncommon James. Then I Am Me up the middle, but Imperatrice called upon. Still 3 lengths in front, and the Tangerine Tsunami's going to do it again. Imperatrice won it well. Second.
Interesting note in the steward's report. Rider Opie Bosson explained it was not his.
I think the champion, we're going to see her against, the horse was unlucky in the Everest and in secret. He probably should have just about gone close to winning the Everest. So the winner, think about it, whenever he gets challenged, whenever the bar's raised, he clears it. So let's raise the bar really high and see how he would go against Imperatrice and
sort of where the...
For him, afterwards, when I went and congratulated him, I said, how good is she? And we know how good a jockey Opie is and all the good horses he's ridden. He said to me, best I've ever ridden. So you go back through...
Too late. It's a memory that you'll die with. It's the Ladbrokes Cox Plate.
Moment. Race to ride in as a jockey, because tactically you have to get it right. And punters are saying that James McDonald on Romantic Warrior will tactically get it right. He got out to $3.90 at one stage, back into $3.70. Good surge for Romantic Warrior. And good luck to all the team at home.
Plate is underlined by the presence of the Hong Kong star Romantic Warrior, who had a tune-up, so to speak, went fourth and needing the fitness perhaps in the Turnbull. James McDonald and 90.
He was underdone, he got keen, and considering the speed of the race and he should be fitter, he can roll forward, he looks like he's going to get a nice run. That starting price and his overall record deserve serious respect. If he's full...
That he was 6 weeks between runs, he's sitting nicely on the bit, he's focused, he's engaged, he's looking...
He has missed the bright side, 7th in the race last year, beaten 2.5 lengths from gate 4. Craig Williams has had 15 Cox Plate rides. He won it on Fields of Omar for David Hayes, who's on course in 2006.
7th in this race 12 months ago, but he settled last. I think they might well be on the leaders' backs here. I think he's...
1,000 metres, equal 5th last year. You won't have to go looking for him in the run, BZ. And Gai Waterhouse, who's had placings...
As some of the opposition that he faces here, but he's fit, he's in form, he can roll forward, but this is a...
The source.
5 is Gold Trip. He reunites with Mark Zara, who wasn't in the saddle for last Saturday's Caulfield Cup. Mar Eustace winning it with Serge.
No luck in this race 12 months ago, where he was also coming out of the Caulfield Cup. I think he's going even better this year. Yes, he...
BZ to win this race with a mare.
She's outstanding, this mare, and she excels on dry ground. She gets that here. 2,000 metres is somewhat of an unknown, but she couldn't have been any stronger at the end of a 1,600 last start, defeating a key...
Number 9, of course, a 2-time winner and recent placings for Ollie with Russian Camelot and El Bodegon.
She was too far back in the might and power of her fast speed, but was strong late. It's been a while since those 2 big wins. Was a little sharp. That Group 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile win looms large in the form guide and has been set for this race.
Golden Seamus Award some 10 years ago.
Well, that Golden Rose win was stunning for a horse who wanted more ground. He got more ground in the Caulfield Guineas, but the race shape just left him with no hope. I thought the run was really good considering. If he can use the barrel...
You're with the Hong Kong Star.
I am. There's two here for me, two bets that I could have in the race. One of them, Romantic Warrior on top. I think he...
Yeah, I'm happy to be with Romantic Warrior as well. And the other horse that I want to be on is Fangirl, who I think will get the last opportunity.
A phenomenal group of horses. I'm not even sure where to start. I've gone with Mr. Brightside on top. His parade today reminded me of his parade prior to an All-Star Mile. It's the best he stepped out on race day.
This is a good go in the Cox Plate now. He got out to as far as $4. He's now into $3.30. The money coming for the favourite. James McDonald riding the Hong Kong champion here. The market says he's right. Watch that trim into $3.30 as I go down the line. Alligator Blood's rock solid $6. $7 now split Fangirl and $7.50 Gold Trip. $8.50 Militarised, soft in the market late. Well, the boy
ready to run, racing in the Cox Plate. Romantic Warrior jumped away well with Alligator Blood and Militarised over on the far side. Victoria Road just got chopped out there, and King Colorado shows speed out deeper, and Zaki out even wider at the judge. Alligator Blood joined by King Colorado. Romantic Warriors just behind those horses, 3 and 4 deep on the first corner, and Zaki's out even deeper. They were followed by Militarised and Mr. Brightside as they jostle for positions. A length and a half, My Oberon and Jewess, and then pinstriped well back as Fangirl, and Gold Trip is last of all. 1,400 metres to go, and it's King Colorado in front by a length to Zaki, who's done the work. Alligator Blood is third, and fourth is Romantic Warrior. No excuses from there on the bottom corner at the 1,250. A length away, Mr. Brightside, 3/4 of a length. Victoria Road, 2 lengths. Jewess, no speed up front. Then came Militarised, a length and a half. My Oberon and Gold Trip well back, pinstripe, and last is Fangirl at the 1,000 metres. King Colorado in front by a neck, 2 in second. Zaki, a length and a half to Alligator Blood, a length and a quarter Romantic Warrior. Then came Mr. Brightside, saving every inch of ground, a length and a quarter Victoria Road, followed by Jewess, then Militarised, Gold Trip, My Oberon, pinstriped, and Fangirl is last. To the side of the course at the 700, King Colorado with Zaki the outside. Alligator Blood is poised, a length Mr. Brightside sneaking round the fence. Then came Romantic Warrior, further back is Jewess, Victoria Road, Gold Trip, My Oberon, pinstriped, and Fangirl with Militarised up to the corner. Zaki claims King Colorado. Alligator Blood is right there. Romantic Warrior 4 deep, a length and a half off them. Mr. Brightside off the fence, needs room, and then came Jewess into the straight. Alligator Blood at the 200 took the front. Romantic Warrior the outside. Alligator Blood at the 100. Romantic Warrior, Mr. Brightside, still Alligator Blood. Mr. Brightside coming at it with Romantic Warrior. It's a photo finish. Mr. Brightside or Romantic Warrior. It's a photo finish. Alligator Blood third. For fourth, we've got Fangirl in company with Jewess, who ran a race. Then Zaki, Gold Trip, well back in the field, Militarised, pinstripe by Oberon, King Colorado, and Victoria Road. Romantic Warrior is going to get up by a nose.
Romantic Warrior has denied a Hayes fairy tale in the Cox Plate. The plan has come together for Danny Shum, James McDonald and Hong Kong in an epic Cox Plate that promised so much and delivered so much more. The team with Mr. Brightside thought they had pinched it along the rails with Craig Williams, but take the Cox Plate back to Hong Kong, and James McDonald becomes the first jockey since Michael Clark in 1989 and 1990 on Almirad, and ironically in some respects better loosen up in those famous Lindsay Park silks. J-Mac's the first jockey to go back-to-back in the Cox Plate on different horses for 33 years, and Romantic Warrior has shown all of his championship qualities to flex late and win the Cox Plate over Mistfield. Has got J-Mac alongside her.
Yeah, we've had some expletives here. I think we've got someone very happy backing up another win in the Cox Plate.
This means so much. I've got so much faith in this horse, and oh my God.
I thought I got beat.
I know you thought you got beat. That was...
Gave him the best possible run I can and could, I should say. And we won the Cox Plate, baby!
Him to have that much emotion with a horse like this, and what a huge thrill for this race to have the horse from Hong Kong come here and just narrowly deny Mr. Brightside, who was so brave, in defeat for Craig Williams and the Lindsay Park. 94, and they've run a time of 2:03.16, so this is a serious Cox Plate.
Yeah, I think my memory went for a minute there. I thought the track record was about a second quicker, that they were put down to the floor there, and even more credit to James McDonald. Craig Williams, though, Michael Walker, he deserves some real credit. That was a terrific ride.
After the it will be very happy. We can win over 6 1. It will be more happy than the I can tell you. I'm really happy. So sorry, I don't know how to tell you. I'm so happy. Okay, thank you.
What a ride and what a tough horse in defeat.
Yeah, Craig gave him a 10 out of 10. Better horse on the day, unfortunately. We actually thought he won when he crossed the line, so it makes it a little bit worse. But he is just absolute superstar. He's ticked off that 2,000. And
dearest to him, after making it back-to-back Cox Plates, he becomes the first jockey to do it since Michael Clark in 89 and 90. James won.
I see it in Danny. Credit to Peter and Danny. Takes a hell of a lot of balls to come out of Hong Kong with all the prize money. One of the best racing jurisdictions in the world, and they come here and showcase their boy. I reckon he's got more to come too. He's just been bubbling. He made significant amount of improvement like we thought he did. And he loves the bloody valley.
It took the full 20.
I took a gamble about the 1,000 or 1,200 and elected to come back a spot, and to this right minute right now, I believe that was the winning move. Giving my horse an extra length to come back. I let Alligator knowing that I think I still can beat him by letting him out and having last crack, and yes.
Well done, 2 times.
Privileged to be there.
Yeah, it was a privilege to be a part of it, and it's the best race for me. It really is. You know, we mentioned those cliches, and it's delivered in spades again yesterday. It was a fantastic edition of the Cox Plate.
I mentioned this at the end, 2-2 according to the data at the bottom of the screen, but official timing, just 0.22 of a second outside of Winx's track record set in this race in her third win in 2017.
Yeah, so there were some murmurs that King Colorado was going to go forward, and he did just that. By Cox Plate standards, though, they didn't go overly quickly, thanks to daily sectionals. He's gone, you know, the first section 3 lengths faster than average, so it's a good, solid speed, but it's not fast by Cox Plate. It was a big thumping last 600 metres of the race, and they've really run home in quite quick closing sectionals. There's Romantic Warrior, 1 out, 1 back for James McDonald. Just watch for Alligator Blood to get off the fence and James to get onto his back here over the concluding stages.
Seeking ground the fence, then came Romantic Warrior. Further back is Jewess, Victoria Road, Gold Trip, My Oberon, Pinstriped, and Fangirl with Militarize up to the corner. Zaki claims King Colorado. Alligator Blood is right there. Romantic Warrior 4 deep, a length and a half off them. Mr. Brightside off the fence, needs room, and then came Jewess into the straight. Alligator Blood at the 200 took the front. Romantic Warrior the outside. Alligator Blood at the 100. Romantic Warrior, Mr. Brightside. Still Alligator Blood. Mr. Brightside coming at it with Romantic Warrior. It's a photo finish. Mr. Brightside or Romantic
Race almost
Warrior
needs 12 individual assessments, given the quality and the runs in it as well. Well, Como, I had some of the Mr. Brightside connections behind me. They thought they'd won to my eye looking at the screen, and as they hit the line, it looked the way, but it's amazingly...
Well, if you see the slow-mo of the finish, it looks like Mr. Brightside was in front before and after the post. It's just that Romantic Warrior had his head down perfectly on the line. So I think it looked like he'd won by a head or something like that.
I was right behind that crew, and I thought, as I said, I thought he had won, and obviously they did. And it was actually heartbreaking when they realised that he hadn't. I mean, well done, Romantic Warrior and connections, but I thought for Lindsay Park and the boys and the crew, and the team just shattering once because they genuinely thought they'd won the
Well, there was
plate.
numerous elements to his story with the purchase and then
They have held pretty much unlucky. Jewess, I still think if she got to the outside of Romantic Warrior at the top of the straight, we could be here saying it was a fairy tale for Damien Oliver. I still think that she was probably the unluckiest in the race. So how good does that look for our...
To James McDonald, the way he's absorbed the pressure of, OK, Animo 12 months ago, who was the $2 favourite that everybody wanted to win, and, you know, as Matt Hill said in his call, looking destiny in the face, and he got him 1 out, 1 back and had the perfect run. Again here, Romantic Warrior, would he stand up, the Hong Kong champ, gets him... OK, a lot of people had him mapped 1 out, 1 back, and we spoke about it pre-race that was the likely position. But you've still got to go out and execute, and to get the horse into the perfect position makes the decision. He just got everything right, hence the margin of a nose on the line.
Ultimate game of inches.
Take nothing away from Craig Williams, though, Michael Walker. It was a fantastic ride. As good a ride as you'll see on the day, after having to go to plan...
The whole race and knowing that you're going to win it.
What about the ride here from Craig Williams and where he's got to, and all of a sudden he's up behind them? Have a look at Fangirl in the pink colours just tracking up beautifully behind them, and then she doesn't have a lot of room in the home straight.
Even Gold Trip there,
If you stop it there, you look where Jewess is.
Yep.
He's in between the first and the second horse. If he was able to get... He can't get to the outside of Romantic Warrior right now because he's sort of just at his heels. If he slips over his heels, there's a chance there that he could clip his heels and go down. So Damien Oliver's just had to sit there. And look at him how he goes to the line. It's like a trial for him. Jewess, still to this day, I believe if he had got to the outside of Romantic Warrior, I'd probably still be partying with Damien Oliver right now.
Yeah, well, the other thing is you can certainly make a case Jewess was unlucky. I think you can definitely make a case Fangirl was unlucky. So this place, the elite of the elite. Rod's probably were exposed a little bit, militarised. Was held up on the turn. He got out. I thought, is he going to let rip here? And he finished off really strongly. He ran well. It was a terrific 8th, but I think he's probably the best of that mile, 2,000 metre plus of his generation, but his generation aren't. They're not a classic generation. They're not, you know, King Colorado was completely exposed. I think Militarised is the best of them. They're probably a rung below the absolute elite.
Quinny.
Mark Zara, Gold Trip. Yeah, he ran well. We were tightly knit coming into the home bend. Got out and obviously a bit firmer ground and come back and trip. I was never going to have the sprint, but he closed off well.
Zach Lloyd, Militarised.
Yeah, he's a lovely colt. Just early on the race, he just got over racing a touch with all the pressure going into the first bend, so probably just had to come back a bit further than I would have liked, but he was strong through the line.
Craig Williams, Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, he ran tremendous. He's an amazing horse, and it was a shame he didn't get the photo today, but the boys have done a great job. They were just that confident that he'd bounce back off the other day, but, you know, it means a lot to us, and we just didn't get it done today.
Tim Clark, Alligator Bud.
Yeah, he was brave in defeat. I thought he had it on the turn, and he went down fighting.
Damien Oliver, Jewess.
She ran a great race, had a beautiful run. Just needed one more run to open up there at the top of the straight, and I think she would have been fighting out the finish, but yeah, great effort. Plus, and we just didn't get it done today.
Tim Clark, Alligator Bud.
Yeah, he was brave in defeat. I thought he had it on the turn, and he went down fighting.
Damien Oliver, Jewess.
She ran a great race, had a beautiful run. Just needed one more run to open up there at the top of the straight, and I think she would have been fighting out the finish, but yeah, great effort.